What is going on, you brothers? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, back again for yet another classic live stream. First and foremost, brothers, before I go any further, how is my audio? Am I coming in loud, clear, and crisp? How's my audio, brothers? Press a 1 in the chat right now if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay? It's IP in the building. How's my audio? Who's here? Who's here? Press a 1, please, to see if my audio is very clear. Spirit Detective, thank you, bro. JP Money, what the is this? Number 1, thank you, bro. Much appreciated. Mike Lawrence, thank you, brother. Conrad Grant, awesome. So welcome, brothers, to another classic live stream. I'm your gracious host, Mr. International Passport, the originator of the, let's just say that the International Passport movement. Been doing this for almost 10 years now. And welcome. A huge shout out to those who have supported me over the past few years. It's greatly appreciated. And of course, welcome aboard the new viewers and the new subscribers for joining the movement. I accept you and I embrace you with open arms. First and foremost, brothers, please make sure you cash out tonight, you super chat, you like the video, you comment, and you active in the live stream chat and cop the merch too. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's get straight into it. Brothers, in tonight's live stream, we're going to be breaking down the dating scene in China, okay? A country where I haven't really touched upon in my 10 years on YouTube. But we have a brother called Mr. Danny in the building who is currently living in China right now. And he'll be breaking down dating Chinese women and then other groups of women out there in China. So Mr. Dusonsky, aka Danny, how you doing, bro?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's a nice China morning.
Fantastic, bro. So Mr. Danny, do you mind giving us a brief intro as to who you are, where you're from in America, and anything interesting or special about you, brother?
Okay, man. Basically, I've been living overseas since 2014. I come from like a military family, so my mom is Army. She was in the Army for like 20 years, and like when I was a kid, her and I lived in Germany for like about 4 years before we came back to America. So I was born in America, and then at the age of 2, we left America to be based, lived overseas for like 4 years. Then I came back to America. My mom lived in South Korea for like 5 years. And like my whole life, she just told me, like, hey, Danny, like, you got to travel, like, you got to go to South Korea. She always told me that. And when I was a kid, she brought me all around the world with her anyway. So like before the age of 6, I already racked up like, something like over 10 countries that I already went to just as a kid. And I don't, just a little kid. I went to university. I just happened to, I hung out with the foreign students a lot. Specifically the Koreans. I had an opportunity to go overseas, teach English at the time. Like if you got a degree, you can go overseas, teach English. And I left America in 2014, and I've only been back like one time just to visit family, like visit my mom, and like I lived in South Korea for 1 year, and now I'm coming up on 8 years in China. So, yeah. So, yep. Yeah. That's
Would
it.
you say
it.
Would you say that one of the best things you ever did in your life was to leave America and travel and live in a different country? Like you don't see yourself ever living in America again for the long term?
Yeah. Like it's like okay. It's like I agree with that. I can agree with that honestly. Like because I think it's possible. Like the longer you stay in a country, the more difficult it can be to leave. Like if you've been there your whole life and suddenly, and if I waited now, like, okay, I left America when I was 21 years old when I left America. 21. Oh yeah. So then like if I'm 31 now. So if I had waited 10 years, it would have been way more difficult. It would have been way more difficult, right? Like, so I think leaving early before I had anything locking me down, that was a really good decision that I just happened to I got lucky that I made that decision, you know?
Fantastic, bro. Awesome, awesome. So let's get straight into it, brother. You're currently in China. What city are you at, brother, right now? Are you in Shanghai? Are you in Guangdong? Where you at, bro?
All right, I'm in a city called Chengdu. It's in the Sichuan province. So basically, this part of China is famous for spicy food and pandas. And I guess if you guys know China, uh, Sichuan, like the area I'm in, is also famous for having the most beautiful women. So I didn't know that when I moved. I didn't know that when I moved here. Like when I moved here, I just, I thought, hey, like my friend told me I could have a nice lifestyle here. So it's only when I came here that I discovered, like, oh, they say like the most beautiful women. Chinese people say that. Chinese people say the most beautiful women, they live in Sichuan. So,
Awesome, bro. So my first question to you, brother, is do the women in China, are they checking for brothers, Chinese women?
Okay, so like I know recently, IP and I like we did like a talk about like kind of Russian women. Like it kind of seems it went viral. Like a lot of guys seem to like that interview we did where we talked about Russian women in China. And like I'll tell you, okay, like it's definitely for Russian women in China, their desire for black men is like okay, it's like up here. For Chinese women, it's like kind of down here somewhere. It's definitely not as high as Russian women. I'll tell you that 100%. Like, Russian women are like way more like will actively pursue you much more aggressively than Chinese women will. Like as a black man, I pretty 100% believe that. But here's the thing: you'll still get a lot of play in China as a black man, especially in my city. Like my city is like kind of like China has a big hip hop community, like underground like hip hop. People really love like kind of basically it's like kind of black American culture, but like you don't need to be black American to kind of benefit from like the interest that people here have in hip hop culture. So like, a lot of girls in my city, they study dance. They study hip hop dance. And like, as a black man, like if you hang out in that area, you hang out like there's an area where a lot of dance schools are like women are learning like hip hop dances. Like this really big in my city. Like I'm not sure why, but it's like dance is just like a popular thing that women study here. And yeah, like, you can like I haven't personally pursued many dancers, not specifically. I never really like tried to like go specifically for like girls who are like looking for black guys. I never really kind of specifically went for those types of Chinese girls, really. But honestly, you kind of have an advantage in that area if you're like if you're one of those kind of hip hop guys who like you can educate her about like stuff she doesn't know about because she's probably listening to music she doesn't know what the heck it means, and you kind of have that advantage. You could be like the kind of guy who can show her like hey, like this is what they're talking about in this song and like et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man, that's my my long-winded answer.
Okay, so just to cut that short, so is that a yes or no answer? The Chinese woman, specifically the Chinese ethnic woman, are they showing brothers love in your city in China? So if a black man came there looking for a Chinese chick, for a Chinese woman in Chengdu, can he get a Chinese girlfriend there?
Yes, 100%. Like I've been with my girl. Like a lot of you guys probably seen me. I post in the travel groups a lot. I recently posted in IP's International Passports Facebook group. I posted an introduction about myself, and yeah, like me and my girl, she's like a local Chengdu Sichuan girl, and we've been together for almost 2 years, and yeah, it's a pretty great relationship. So yeah, you can definitely find you a nice lady over here. And I know a lot of guys. Honestly, like look, I've built connections and friendships with a lot of guys in the community. A lot of guys are looking for like kind of a long-term relationship. Like a lot of guys want to play around. Like, yeah, they want to play around, but it seems like a lot of majority of guys just want a girl who they can like kind of settle down with and have like a long-term thing with. And like honestly, like I haven't dated in America for a long time. Like I haven't had like any relationship with an American woman since like the year 2009 or something like that. I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2009. I was like 17. That was like the last time I ever like had sex with an American woman was the year 2009 or even 2008 maybe. So my experience with American women isn't very current, but it seems to me, based off all the conversations I have with guys, they want a long-term relationship with a girl. So you can definitely get that way easier overseas, like wifey quality material. And in China, especially, like you can find women who are long-term relationship material, which is what I know a lot of guys want.
Okay, fantastic, bro. Great breakdown there. So the black men that are currently in China, I'm assuming it's African men, it's some black American men, it could be some black English men there. Are they getting play from Chinese women? Do they stand out? Is there a uniqueness to being a black man in China that attracts Chinese women to those black men? Break it down for us, brother.
Okay, so like the fact is, like right now, like a lot of black American guys left China. Like I think like a lot of people, like because of all like the government COVID. I mean, I probably shouldn't mention the disease on the live stream. I tried not to. I don't want us to get blocked or anything. But basically, like the current situation in China, a lot of black American guys have left. Like I'm in a city, it's like 14 million people or something in my city, probably way more than that. And like I only know maybe 2 other black American guys in my city of like this 14 million people in the city. So we're kind of, black American men, specifically were never really a large amount overseas. And I think the same could be said for the UK black American men, like men from the UK, probably not a super high number of them maybe are overseas, probably more than black American men. But like, the point is not many of us, tons of Africans though. Still tons and tons of Africans. So yeah, man, like, Africans, like, you can, a lot of them get married with Chinese women. They have babies here, I guess I'll go ahead and throw this out there. It's pretty common for guys to get married for visa situations, like for, that marriage visa. And I think like with the African community, that's kind of a thing that I've noticed. Like, it's kind of like a lot of guys, like, they want to, like maybe the country they come from might not have a ton of opportunity. So for them, getting a Chinese wife and getting that marriage visa, that might be what they're aiming at. Okay. So yeah, it's okay. It's whatever, Yeah, it's like, do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. Yeah.
So you said that, one of the reasons why Chinese women in your city like black men is because of hip hop. Are there any other reasons that they also like black men? Obviously, keep it PG, but could it be like, black men are seen as, level headed? They're seen as, cool. They're seen as just, being a guy that, just takes life as that wants to do on life and just calm, peaceful, and respectful. Do they see black men like that in China amongst the Chinese women? Why are they attracted to black men, Chinese women?
Okay, so like that's a good question. Like Chinese people don't really have much exposure to outside culture. Like the average Chinese person, they don't really have much exposure. I think the appeal that black men may have to Chinese women, it just could be like the coolness aspect. Like whenever you go into the hip hop club, it's like, the culture in like many nightclubs, it borrows from like basically hip hop. Like you're gonna hear like rap music and stuff. And okay, here's an interesting thing. Like I don't know why, like, but ASAP Rocky, like a lot of women, they think he's like super handsome. So like even China, like Chinese women, like the women who are like into hip hop, they love ASAP Rocky. So like, yeah, like they think he's like super handsome. Like I'm like, like whatever. Like, I guess so. Like I was just surprised when I came here to find out that a lot of Chinese girls think that ASAP Rocky is like super hot. So yeah, like if you kind of have that kind of ASAP Rocky look where you're like, you got some kind of cool hairstyle. Like I'm bald, like I don't have any hair, so I can't really play up that whole like kind of trying to look like a hip hop star. But if you kind of got that kind of look, if you got some kind of cool tattoos, like I don't have any tattoos either, but that's why I told you guys like I don't really go for like the hip hop girls because I'm black, but like, and I like rap, like I listen to it, but I don't really look like a rap, like the stereotypical like rap guy. And honestly, if you are like the stereotypical like rap guy, or you look like some kind of basketball player or something, you could kind of play that to your advantage because, that those are the types of black guys that a lot of Chinese women they see on TV, and they're exposed to those types of black men. So if you kind of have that kind of image, that can really help you in attracting them. So yeah, man, that's my answer again. Like they just see stuff in the media, and they kind of they see it all the time, and they kind of emulate it. And if you look like you're kind of from that area, that kind of culture that she affiliates, she associates that with something positive, like the music or the sports. You can benefit from that. Like stereotypes can be very beneficial in certain situations.
Let me ask this, bro. So, if you're not from that stereotypical look, rapper, athlete look, are you telling us that black men should avoid China? Let's say you're a normal square brother, you love reading, you're a nerdy brother, you like anime, you read manga, you dress in a suit, you wear glasses, you're just a normal dude, you're not a stereotypical brother. Are you telling us that Chinese women they're not checking for that type of black dude?
Okay, I think you just described me. I'm kind of like I like anime. I kind of wear a suit sometimes. I don't know if I'm a big dork, but like I'm kind of clean cut. I'm like a clean cut black guy. I think I think you'll do pretty well here, though. I think you'll still do okay, man. Like girls, they want a guy that they can bring home to their parents, and if you're a clean cut guy, that definitely helps you a lot. And yeah, man, like I've had a lot of great experiences with women here in China. I've been here for over 8 years now or something. So I haven't been abstinent this whole time. So yeah, man, but I think it's worth checking out. Like the point is, for all the guys out there, you're gonna have a way better time in China than you'll probably have in your home country. Like for like 99.9% of guys who are watching this, you'll have a lot more success with Chinese women than you'll have with women in your own country. So, don't knock it till you try it,
Okay, so let me ask this, brother. You mentioned that ASAP Rocky is very well loved there amongst Chinese women in China, which is very shocking to me because he's a dark-skinned black man. And from what I hear about China is that they want to look very light-skinned, pure white skin. That's a shock to me. What is it about ASAP Rocky, a dark-skinned black man, that Chinese women love so much? That's a huge shock to me, bro. I was expecting you to say Chris Brown, one of those light-skinned brothers. But a dark-skinned brother like ASAP Rocky gets the most play there. Why is that? Why do Chinese women love ASAP Rocky so much, who's a dark-skinned black man?
Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. Like, it's not cut and dry about like what people or what women find attractive. Like, it can be kind of cut and dry when maybe for like if you're talking about like what men like, but like for women, it's like a mix of stuff. So like for example, like you might not be like super tall, but like if you have something that kind of like is attractive about you, that can be beneficial for you. So for example, like you might not be super tall, but like we talked about before, you got some kind of cool hairstyle. So you can play that to your advantage. Like, that's something attractive that women might like about you. You might not be like super handsome, but if you're like a bodybuilder, you have a good body, that can like work to your advantage. So I agree that darker skin is not considered attractive. It's not appealing to most people in Asia, specifically in China. Darker skin is not considered as attractive as whiter skin. but it's not, that doesn't mean that you're, just because your skin is dark, that doesn't mean you're not going to get any play. It just means that, there are other things about you that you might need to play up. So like the things about you, it could be really attractive in one culture, but in another culture, it won't be attractive. So for black guys, a lot of us have beards. You see me, I shave my beard. I've been living in China for like a while. In Asia, Asian girls generally don't like beards. So if you're trying to date an Asian girl, and my girl just woke up, she's walking around, but probably having a beard, probably want to shave it. If you shave your beard, that will increase your chances with Asian women. But if you grow out a beard, that will increase your chances with like kind of Russian women or European women. So it's like you can change your appearance to get what you want in life to a certain extent, and you can change your clothing style. Like if I was going for like a hip hop girl, I would wear more hip hop clothing. My style right now, not really hip hop. So, for you guys who like to dress hip hop, wear the jerseys, like if you got tattoos, that's going to help you with women who like hip hop and who have tattoos, and they think your tattoos are really sexy. So you have power to like adjust yourself to get what you want. It's not like cut and dry. That's what I'm saying. Like you can have things that are attractive about you that you can play up, that can help you with certain women. It just depends the types of women that you want.
Okay, awesome, brother. I've got a follow-up question there. Okay, apart from Chinese women in China, right? What other racial groups of women currently living in China are showing brothers a stupid amount of love? Break it down for us, bro.
Okay, so like currently living in China, pretty much like the biggest population of like people, or I'd just say women in China, that has to be like the Russian population. Like the Russian population is pretty high. So IP and we had a conversation about this, and I talked about some experiences like, just living in China. You're going to see like China has like a really big, like kind of Russian model population. Like there are tons of like Russian women that come over to China, they work as models. So during China, like pre-2020, before all the craziness in the world, China was like a very diverse place. Like it's really crazy how diverse China was. Like that's one thing I really loved about China. China's kind of like a melting pot, because China's like in the center of all these other countries, and people just fly in like every month. Like it was really amazing. Like it was a beautiful time in history that I don't know if ever is ever going to happen again. But basically, you had tons of like beautiful, like, models from other countries, specifically Russian, Belarusian, Ukrainian. Those models come over to China for school and work. And basically, honestly, man, like over like 80%, something 90%, every time I see like a Ukrainian girl or a Russian girl, she has like a black guy or African guy with her. And wow. It's pretty clear to me. Like it's pretty, like a lot of guys in the comment section, they can confirm this. If you look at the previous video that IP and I did, where we talked about kind of like the Russian and African women, like Russian women and African man situation or black man situation, a lot of men in the comment section can confirm 100% what I said, that, the Russian female population in China specifically, they seem to have some kind of black fetish that they're living out when they come over here, because, if you're a black guy, it's kind of, they're going to be checking for you. They're going to be looking for you like pretty heavily, like 100%, like it's pretty high. Your chances of success are pretty high with that area of woman. I'm going to put it like that.
Okay, so basically, right, a brother comes to China, forget about the Chinese chicks, right? Go for the Russian chicks, because to me, Russian women are absolutely beautiful. Ukrainians and Belarusian too. Brother, what is it about black men that Russian women, Ukrainian women, and Belarus women in China love about us? What attracts them to us? What is it, brother? Is it the way we move? I love the way you move. Da-da-da. I love the way you move. Da-da-da. Or is it, our swag? Break it down for us, bro.
Okay, so basically, I think it's 100% that it seems like in their culture, like in like kind of Russian or whatever culture, they associate like darker skin with like masculinity, I think. Like they look at us like as black men, like they see us as strong, and a lot of us are like like the way us black men are built physically. It's like we're built to be. We just have a stronger looking body, and like we seem kind of tough. Like a lot of us don't. If you work out, I work out like almost like pretty much every day. So like if you have like that kind of fitness body where your body looks stronger, that you can know that's going to be an advantage, because like in their culture they like men that are like kind of really strong and like bulky, and that's the difference between Russians and like Chinese women. They don't like it when guys have like big muscles and like they don't like that. Chinese women, they kind of like it when guys have like a little muscular tone, but they don't like it when guys are like really big and muscular. And um Russian women are different. They like it when guys are like huge and like if you're like a huge black guy, you look strong, you're going to be very attractive to a lot of Russian women. I've seen that here. Like I've seen African guys like they those kind of guys clean up. Like they do pretty well with those type of women. And as black men, we naturally have those kind of strong features. Like a lot of us, okay, I saw one guy, he just wrote in the comment section, like he's not going to shave his beard. Okay, if you're not going to shave your beard, that's fine. Like that can limit you. That might limit your success with Asian women. Like if you don't want to shave your beard, they're going to they don't really like that. But that can help you with Russian women and other types of women who find beard more attractive. So that's my answer. Like we just naturally, as black men, we just naturally have features that are considered attractive, more attractive with that type of woman. That's why they're checking for us, and our culture, and black culture is kind of attractive for them. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, brother. Let me read a couple of super chats and catch ups real quick. Brothers, please get the likes up as soon as possible. Please get the likes up to at least 130. Is that your girl in the background, bro? She can join us, brother, if she wants to. Don't.
You want me to bring her on? Like she's on the bed now, playing on her phone. Like but yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see what direction the conversation goes. We'll see what direction. Maybe she can get up and say hi at the end of like the stream. We'll save it. We'll save it for your true followers. For the true followers who stick around until the end of the video, maybe you'll get to see me and my girl on camera. Maybe. I can't make any promises.
No problem, brother. So, brothers, get the likes up, please, to at least 130, 140. Show love, okay? Shout out to Mr. Jeremy Sears for the $10 super chat. Jeremy in the building, Hall of Fame member. Appreciate you, bro, for the support. Much love to you, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Silicon Gray for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Silicon Gray, for the support. Great to see two legends chopping up on the live stream. SYS fame order. Yes, indeed. SYS being indeed. Save yourself, black man. Be a passport, bro. That's the movement for 2023. We are going ham next year, man. I want to see you brothers with Dime Woman. Okay, thank you, bro. Shout out to D Payne's thoughts and opinions for the $5 super chat.
Oh yeah.
What's good, Danny? Keep doing your thing, bro. Much love from Arkansas.
Arkansas. Me and D Payne, like we both. It's funny, like me and D Payne, we linked up from a travel group. Like we just connected. His mom was my teacher in high school, and it's crazy. Like we just, he kind of like found each other from a travel group. It's it's like a crazy small world. But we both from Arkansas. Oh, shout out to Sircon Gray too. Sircon Gray is a cool guy. We chat all the time. We also connected from the travel groups, man. Like, we got a really great community of guys, man. Like these travel groups, they bring us all together. Like, like a lot of us become like Arkansas is kind of a small state and has like kind of lots of small cities. So like it might be difficult to like find like guys who kind of link up with you. Like I never really had people that I could link up with who I felt like I could like connect with, like just be friends with mentally. Like it's really difficult. Like the internet, it kind of brings us all together, and we got people from all over the world who like, you might be the only black guy in your area who's interested in travel. But like thanks to these travel groups online, especially Facebook, like you realize, hey, I'm not the only one out there. There are lots of other black guys like me who they want to see the world too. So yeah, man, like these travel groups, it's really amazing. Like it's really great connection.
Awesome, thank you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Dems Wood for the £1.79 super chat. Thank you, bro. I love Asian women, but I don't know about Chinese women, to be honest. Yeah, bro, I ain't shaving my beard, bro. I'm keeping my beard. I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, Thomas. Appreciate you, Dems Wood. Shout out to Mr. Jabras for the $5 super chat. How was his experience in South Korea, particularly with dating? Do you mind giving us a brief summary about your dating experience in South Korea, brother? Are they checking for brothers, South Korean women?
Oh yeah. So like, all right, South Korea, like, okay, I would say South Korea is interesting because I was there for over a year. I lived in a small city, Daegu, and I should have chosen Seoul. This was one of the mistakes I made. Like for a lot of you guys who think that I made like a lot of good decisions when I was a kid, definitely not. I made some pretty bad decisions at certain points, and I think I definitely made the right decision to go overseas. The problem was I chose the wrong city to go overseas too. But you kind of live and you learn. But basically, my first year in South Korea, I lived in a small city called Daegu, Daegu. And it's okay. It's like a nice, okay city, but it's like, I should have chose the big city, Seoul, because Seoul is like way more international. Like, if you're asking about dating, generally speaking, you want to go to cities where it's more international, because the more international it is, it's kind of like the more the women that you meet, they're going to be open to like dating a foreigner. Because even though like a lot of us, we go over to these countries and like, yeah, we're considered to be attractive because we're different and we're unique. The fact is that having a relationship with somebody, you kind of want to like match up on values at least a little bit. And it's kind of easier to match up on values like if the girl is like at least a little bit familiar with international culture. So Seoul, the city Seoul in South Korea is like way more international than the city that I was in. So like you're more likely to find like success with dating in Seoul. So I suggest like, probably like your first time going overseas, don't make the mistake that I made of saying like, hey, I want to be like all special and different, and I'm going to go to a smaller city where they're going to like, when I walk down the street, people are going to look at me like, wow, because I'm like the only foreigner in the city. Like, that's true. When you walk down the street, you're going to be like the only foreigner, but that can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the situation. So, just think about it. Like, I highly suggest before you go overseas, like if this is your first time going overseas, just follow the recommendation of somebody else. Like, don't try to do what I did and like try to just, pick a random city and think like, hey, I'm going to choose there because nobody else goes there. There might be a reason why nobody else goes to that city that you're going to. So, follow the recommendation of the experienced travelers in the group. If you're taking like your first trip overseas, or you're just like getting your first job overseas, and then after you've had like a year experience, then you can like choose your own city, like, okay, I wanted to go someplace else that's like, not less travel,
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Spirit Detective for the $5 super chat. How big, I see you with the Yu Hakusho AVI, how big of an influence do you feel the Chinese government has in your daily life? Speak carefully, bro. Yes, bro. Just keep it very short and sweet.
Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time on the government stuff, because here's my philosophy, guys. Here's my philosophy. I'm American. I have voted like one time. I voted like when I was in university. I voted for Obama. I don't, I think it was a good decision. Okay. That was like the only time in my life where I kind of had any impact on the American political system. So I haven't really done much to try to improve my country besides voting one time. So because I have the philosophy that you need to fix your own country before you try to fix someone else's country. So I really disagree with the idea that like we need to come over to other countries and like try to change them and like make them free or whatever. Like
All right,
that's
bro. So
I'm not yeah, I'm not down with that. Like, so basically I kind of stay out of the government stuff. Um
okay,
that
that's fine, bro. Obviously,
yeah,
bro, we got
yeah,
2 hours, but I want to make sure we we cram through all in. Okay, thank you, brother. Much
yeah,
appreciated.
yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Jeremy says for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you both for the support. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Again, much love to you, brother. Shout out to Jeremy says again for the $10 super chat. Get the lights up before IP starts singing. LOL. I love the way you move. I love the way you move. Shout out to Jeremy says appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Rhythm Harris for the $5 super chat. Just want to show support, great info. Thank you for the kind words, Rhythm Harris. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jeremy says again, going ham, 4th time tonight. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate you, brother. Big time, man. Thank you, brother, for the support. Means a lot to me. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Spoon Love for the $4.99 super chat. Never get to see you live, just showing you love. Maybe to Japan in January. Please accept my Facebook group request. I'm Els on there. Els, please join the Patreon and I'll get you in the Facebook group, okay? So join the Patreon and I'll get you in the Facebook group. Thank you very much, El. Much appreciated, brother, for the support. Did I miss anyone else? No, that is it. Let's carry on, bro. I've got a cash up real quick. Shout out to Mr. Jeremy says again for the £20.67 cash app. Thank you, bro. He says support. Thank you for the kind words, Jeremy, for the support on the cash app. Much appreciated, bro. Shout out to Mr. Marlon B86 for the £8.27 cash app. Thank you, bro. Supporting tonight's stream. Thank you for the kind words, brother, and supporting the movement. Much love to you, brother. Awesome, awesome. Shout out to Jeremy says again for the $5 super chat. So smash the like button. Yes, indeed, brothers. Please like the video. Like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Awesome.
shout out to Adrian Troublefield in the chat box too. Adrian Troublefield, he's like posting a lot of travel content, man. He's a cool travel guy. Adrian Troublefield, man. Good to see you in the live chat, man. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. So next question now, brother, for you, because we only have 2 hours. I want to make sure we get everything in. Feminism, is that a problem there in China amongst the Chinese women and the Russian women too?
For the most part, no. Here's the thing, y'all. Like a lot of these women, they see stuff on the internet, like they see like what's going on in America, and like they think they understand it, but really most of them just don't understand it. Like, when a Chinese woman says the word feminism, her idea of feminism probably does not match up with like what an American woman thinks feminism means. Like, my perception of feminism is that like they want like equal treatment for men, and they want to like have the same opportunities as men. And I understand that. Okay, you want to be treated equally, but like when the bill comes, like when it's time to pay, they still gonna look at you like you got to pay the money. So like I don't know what kind of feminism that is, but like you'll hear like a Chinese woman. You're not gonna hear most Chinese women like talk about feminism. Like maybe if she speaks English, she might like be aware of feminism, but I guarantee you, like these women will say the word feminism, but they still like expect you to be like the traditional male and like pay for everything and all this other stuff. So like it's pretty much a non-factor, man. It's like a non-factor. It's not something I would worry about. Like, is feminism taking over China? Like, no. I don't even know much. Honestly, I'm not really educated about feminism, so maybe I sound like really ignorant right now. I could be really ignorant about what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know much about feminism. It doesn't really influence my life. I don't think about it, really.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, brother. Let me ask this, bro. Japanese women, are they in China? Japanese women?
They are, but I haven't really met any. Yeah, like I don't know much about. There is like a, Japan and China, they do business together, so there is like, but Chinese people, they kind of they hate. They got China and Japan. They kind of hate each other. So like honestly, like Japanese people, they don't broadcast the fact that they don't broadcast the fact that they're like Japanese. Probably they don't want to do that because China is kind of anti-Japan. Okay, I see people commenting like, okay, China's racist. You guys got to understand that, yeah, China can be racist, especially like the older people, like people who are over the age of like 50 or something. Like, of course, they're probably going to be kind of racist, but Asians are really racist against each other. Like, if you think that Chinese people are racist against black people or something, you need to understand like the amount of racism that a Japanese person in China will experience. Like that's like whole another level. That's like a cultural, like, your ancestors kind of raped us kind of thing, kind of level of racism. Like, right. So like, yeah, just, if you think Asians are racist against each other way more than they're racist against other groups of people. That's my opinion. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you, bro. So obviously, brother, please keep it very PG censored. So RA, the RA word and any other words, please try and obfuscate it. Okay, try and code it. Okay, brother. Thank you very much. Shout out to Conrad Grant for the $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. IP supporting the stream. China definitely no go. Thank you for the support, Conrad Grant.
Man.
You, bro. So
you're missing out, man. Missing out.
Next question for you, brother, is how good looking are Chinese women? Because my perception of them is that they're very pale skinned. They want to look as white as possible. And there are some parts where am I looking at a white girl here, or am I looking at a Chinese girl here? So what are they good looking in your opinion? Are they dimes out there, or do you rank them as average looking women? Break it down for us, bro.
I definitely wouldn't rank them as average. Like I lived in South Korea for a year. Okay, and the thing about South Korea is that, yeah, like the women are beautiful, but like a lot of women have plastic surgery, and a lot of women in South Korea, they kind of look the same. Like when you walk down the street in like the big city Seoul in South Korea, you're gonna see hundreds of beautiful women. The problem is that it's not really a problem. It's just like most of them kind of look the same, like kind of same style, same like skin tone, same body type for the most part. And China's like a big country, and it's surrounded by a lot of other countries. So there's like a lot of mixing going on. So it's like basically China has like a bigger variety. You're gonna see many different sizes, shapes, kind of skin tones here. Yeah, so it's more variety here. Definitely whiter skin, because that's like a cultural thing. But overall, my girl likes to work out, so like she's kind of fairly thick. And like, basically you got different body types here. Depending on what you're looking for, you can probably find it. That's nice variety. Yeah.
So I wanted a slim, thick gym chick. Nice thighs, nice hips. Just like a gym, slim, thick chick. Can I find that in China, brother, or will I find skinny girls?
Right. Hit up that gym, bro. Hit up that gym. You're gonna see some. You're probably gonna find what you're looking for, man. Just hang out. Go to visit different gyms. You're gonna see. Go to that squat machine area. I suggest whatever girl you get, always have her like hitting up that squat machine, and you're gonna find what you're looking for, man.
Awesome, fantastic, man. So next question for you, brother, is language. Is English enough to communicate with Chinese women, or do we have to learn Chinese realistically to date a Chinese chick? Break it down for us, bro.
Yeah, so it depends on the city that you're in. Like if your city is international, my city is kind of international. Like there are people who live here for many years who don't speak Chinese. I don't suggest that because like, if you're going to live in a country long term, like I've been living in China for almost 8 years. If I didn't speak Chinese at this point, I would have missed out on so many like life experiences. So I suggest like if you really want to live long term in a country, and if most people in that country don't really speak English very heavily, it would be good to like invest some time into the language. Like that's really how you get immersed, because it really expands your options. First of all, like I it took me a while to get fluent in Chinese. Like I studied Chinese for like over 5 years. I basically got really fluent in it. I don't speak Chinese anymore because me and my girlfriend just speak English all the time. So like here's the thing, like I spent all that time learning Chinese, and now I never use it because my girlfriend speaks English. But before I was with her, I was hanging out with Chinese people a lot, and basically, if you can't speak Chinese or you can't communicate, basically, you kind of have like a limited experience, man. Like a lot of us were leaving our country to get a new experience, going over to a new place. So like, if you're just gonna like speak English, you're just gonna be limited to other foreigners who speak English and girls who speak English who probably date other foreigners. And like if the only girls that you can deal with are girls who speak 100% fluent English, you're gonna get a higher level of, I guess, that feminism thing where the woman is like really too influenced by foreign culture. And like, so learn the language, guy. Like spend some time, at least a little bit. Like it doesn't take a long time. Like I've seen guys get pretty conversational in Chinese in like less than a year. A year of like study and like hang out with Chinese people, you can get fluent in a language. So like just make some time, a few hours a week, just, get the little study apps on your phone, and like you can be pretty conversational in like less than a year, and it'll make your travel experience way better than the average guy who can only speak English. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Great answer. Shout out to John Thomas, my mod. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. China is the best place to search for e-commerce products to manufacture and make money. Living there now, business 100% and making money. Fantastic. Great breakdown for us, John Thomas. Thank you very much, bro. Next question for you, bro, is jealousy towards you as a black man. So you obviously stand out. You got a nice looking Chinese chick, and I'm looking at her. She's good looking, bro. So well done there. Have you felt any jealousy from Chinese men towards you for dating a beautiful Chinese girl like that? And is that a common thing that black men experience in China when they're walking around holding hands with a Chinese chick that's beautiful?
Yeah, so that can be a thing. But here's the thing, man. Like, if you're a guy who's getting women, other guys who can't get women are going to be salty about that. Like, other guys going to be hating and jealous. And that's definitely a thing in China. And it seems like it's a thing in many countries where, like, okay, for me as a black American man, I don't really care if black women want to date outside their race. Like, okay, I just learned a new word like 2 weeks ago, like this whole divesting thing. Like I typed it into the computer. Like, what is divesting? I keep seeing it in my Facebook feed. It's like people dating outside their race. And it seems like it's a word that black women use. Like, I didn't know, okay, they want to divest. I'm cool with that. I don't care. But apparently, like, a lot of people aren't so cool with that. Like, a lot of people, they don't like seeing someone of their race date another person of a different race. So, I can't really relate to that. Like, I don't get salty when I see like someone with a beautiful like black woman or African woman. Like, I'm like, hey, good job, bro. But unfortunately, in China, you got the situation where some Chinese guys are kind of salty. They don't like us coming over here, like getting money and like sleeping with their women. Like some guys, they get kind of salty. And, I've gotten, I almost got into a couple fights a couple times in nightclubs. Like, Chinese guys, they, they try to start some crap. And like, I don't get into fights, guys. Like, by the way, when you go overseas, just try to walk away. Like, don't try to be a tough guy getting into fights, because like the law is not on your side when you're overseas. Like, it doesn't matter if the other person attacked you first or they did whatever. When the police come, they're gonna arrest you. And it's not even just because you're black. It's because like you're not a local. You're not a local person. So really, I suggest like try to be the bigger man in these situations. Don't fight anyone. Like, just try to like be a cool guy about it. Like, just brush them off, ignore them. Yeah. And I've had a couple situations where things got kind of sticky. Like some guys, they get jealous. They try to hate on you. Some guys get jealous, man. Like they see you with beautiful women especially in the nightclub. Like in the nightclub, it's nighttime. People have alcohol in their system, and guys are horny. So if you mix those three things together, and you're in the nightclub, like you as a cool guy, you're out there getting women and dancing, and these guys over there, they're drunk and they're not getting any women. They're kind of salty about it. That's when some trouble might pop off. So just be careful, man. Be careful. Yeah, man. And that's my suggestion, y'all. Like, just be careful and lift weights, y'all. Work out. You gotta take care of your body, because if you look too weak, other guys are gonna take advantage, and they want to, like, they're gonna think, oh, that's an easy target. I can just like come over, smack them around a little bit, like. So you gotta have some muscle, man. Have some muscle, and that way, you can, you want to. That's what you don't do that, but you want them to think that you might do that if they get too crazy. So
So have you ever fought someone in China, like physical fight?
Man, I came close, man. I had a friend. I have an American friend. He's a white guy, and he lives in Chongqing. His Chinese level is amazing. He's been in China for like over almost a long time, like over a decade. And he was visiting my city, and like I don't know why. He speaks really good Chinese, so of course I took him to the Chinese club, because like if you speak Chinese, if you can speak the language, that opens up doors for you. So you can go to places where normal guys who don't speak Chinese can't go. So him and I, we both speak Chinese, and we both speak it fluently. So we can hang out in Chinese clubs where nobody speaks English, and that gives you access for you guys who want to, like, women who are like not infected with like Western feminism or something. You can hang out in those places where women don't speak English, and you have the choice of those women, and you might be the only foreigner in there. And that like gives you lots of, that gives you leverage. You have leverage in that situation. So, yeah, basically, some Chinese guys, I don't know what was wrong with this guy. Like, he kept touching me, and like, I was trying to, like, just hang out, chill, like, talk to the chicks. And this guy, he kept touching me, him and his friend. He thought it was funny. Like, I turned around, I saw like, bro, like, don't touch me. And he was laughing. He was like, him and his friend, like, he was laughing, like, oh, look at this foreigner. Like, and like, I lost my temper, and I grabbed him by the neck, and I choked him for a bit. I was like, bro, like, don't touch me. And like, my American friend, he was like, bro, we got to get out of here, man. They're going to like call the police on you. So we got out of there, and like those Chinese guys, they followed us outside, because my American friend, he had a girl he was trying to talk to. I had gone somewhere else. I walked over some different area, and my friend called me back like, hey, bro, like, bro, I need your help. Like, these Chinese guys are surrounding me. And I just came over there, and it was those same guys. The guy who was touching me and his, like, his loser friend. Like, these guys are losers, man. Like, the kinds of guys who are going to start a fight with you because they get jealous of you. These guys are losers. Like, their objective is to ruin your night. They see you out there having fun with beautiful women. They want to ruin your night. And like, basically just like brush them off. Like, don't give them any energy, because as soon as you give them that kind of energy and you get into a fight with them, they're going to call the police on you. Even if those Chinese guys, even if they touch you first or they attack you first, as soon as you hit them back, they're going to call the police on you. And they'll be like, oh, this foreigner, he's attacking us. He's like, he hit me and my friend. The police are going to come. They're going to arrest you. You're going to have to pay money to the Chinese guy. You're going to have to like pay him some kind of hospital bills or some other crap. So like, just avoid that. Like, avoid these losers, man. Like, when you go out to the nightclub, maybe just, talk to the people who have that good energy. Maybe bring a friend with you. Because if you have a friend with you, if you're just by yourself, you're like an easier target. But if you have like a friend with you, it's like they're less likely to try to fight you or like start some just stuff with you. So, yeah, man, that's my thing, man. I've had some sticky situations, man. And that can happen in any country. That's not just China. That can happen in any country where like a local guy, if you fight him, the police are going to arrest you. It's not just China. It's a lot of other countries. So just be safe out there, y'all. I don't want y'all, I don't want your overseas experience to get cut short because, you freaking like, you KO'd a guy after he tried to cock block you. Like I don't want you guys to get locked up, man. So just be careful out there and, drink those protein shakes and get those muscles. So guys, they be afraid of you. They don't want no trouble with you. Like get that whey protein, 20 grams post-workout protein shake and mix it with milk. It'll help you put on some weight. That's my suggestion.
Definitely, brothers. I hit the gym, man. Hit the gym. You know, brothers need to, before you move to a country permanently, hit the gym, get the muscles up, man. So next question for you, brother, is dealing with different women at once. You know, is it acceptable for a man? I don't do open relationships. I'm against that nonsense. But I feel like men and women are different people. So a woman can only be committed to one guy, but a guy can be committed to multiple women. He can have multiple girlfriends. Is that acceptable in China, or that's not really going? That's not really. No Chinese woman's gonna accept that.
They basically got kind of like the don't ask, don't tell thing here. Like a woman, even if she knows that you're dating other women, she doesn't want to have you say that to her face. Like she doesn't want you like throwing it in her face that you're like with other women. So like that's like that kind of thing is really big in Asian culture. Like Asian culture, they have this concept of face. And it's basically avoiding embarrassment and like avoiding in these kind of situations where like you say something that the other person makes the other person really uncomfortable. So it's kind of like, you know, you can have like your harem, you can have like a great harem and all this kind of stuff, but just don't throw it in the woman's face, you know, don't show her that you're with other women and like you're a playboy. Cause like honestly, being a playboy, American women, this is based on my experience. I haven't dated an American woman since like the year 2009. So maybe my perspective is really outdated. Like, you know, American women, they like guys who are playboys and guys who are like bad boys who like, you know, he's got all the women and he's like, you know, he's bad for me. That's why I like him. I like him because he's bad for me. Asian women are not like that. Asian women want like a good guy that they can bring home to their family and like can say, hey, this is a good guy. He treats me well. You know, and like if you're out there like sleeping with other women and throwing it in her face, you're not the kind of guy that she can bring home to her parents. So like Asian women, they want a guy who's like kind of marriage material. Even if she's not gonna marry you, she still wants you to be like at least like the closer you are to marriage material, the more success you'll have with women. So those are the kind of guys that Asian women want to sleep with. Like they want to sleep with guys who have their life together, and who are, you know, so yeah, like, you know, you can have multiple women. Like, you know, I've done that. You can do it. Just don't be throwing it in their face and like, hey, I'm going over to this other girl's house after you leave here. Like, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that to Asian women. Like, they nice girls, man. You gotta be nice to these girls, man. Don't, you know, you gotta be sweet, be a gentleman.
Okay, awesome, brother. So next question for you, brother, is body count. To me, brother, body count is extremely important. I want to marry a virgin woman as my first choice. She's got to be a virgin. And when it comes to dating, let's say second option, very, very low body count. Can we find virgin women in China? And if not, do Chinese women have low body counts? I'm talking 1 or 2 max. To me, that's a low body count. Any more than that is suspect because women can get men easily. They can stay with men for a long time. So if you have more than 2, more than 1, I'm gonna look at you funny. So I want a virgin, okay? And brothers will want a low body count woman as a safety option. Can we find a virgin woman and low body count woman in China? Break it down for me, brother.
Yeah, you can find those types of women in abundance. I think virgins are kind of annoying because like it seems like a lot of women before they lose their virginity, they have some kind of like fantasy land like idea about relationships, and that can be kind of annoying for a guy who's like, you know, like you're just trying to like, you know, you just want to have like a beautiful girlfriend that you can like, you know, have some fun with. And like if a girl is like a virgin, she might take that kind of sex thing like too seriously to the point where, you know, she might want to wait a long time before you can get any. So that's why I think virgins can be kind of annoying. I would kind of stay away from them unless the girl is like really interested. She's showing a lot of interest and like kind of losing it. But yeah, like you can find women with low body count. Like it's pretty common here for women to be only 22 or 23 and she's only been with like one guy and she's like in her early 20s. I think that's pretty rare in America based off what I've heard. But you can find women here who are like working women who graduated university they've only had one boyfriend, maybe one sexual encounter, and yeah, they're pretty. They're not sullied by other men, if that's what you're looking for. You can find that in abundance here. Oh, if you're talking about body count, the women who are going to have the highest body counts are going to be the women who like they speak fluent English and they hang out with foreigners a lot. So those, if you're looking for red flags, those are kind of two red flags. She speaks fluent English and she hangs out around foreigners. You see her in the nightclub. She's hugging on different foreigners, like, hey, bro, like, you know, like if she's doing that kind of stuff, wear a condom. But, you know, that's my suggestion.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Anthony Thomas says he's not concerned with body counts. Brother, trust me, you definitely want to marry a wife of a chick with a body count of 200. You don't want that in your life, bro. You know, so all the best to you, bro, but I ain't dealing with that. God forbid. Next question for you, brother, is are Chinese women wifeable? You know, are they, and if they are wifeable, what wifeable qualities do they have that makes them wifeable, brother?
Okay, so like definitely way more wifeable than probably like for us men who come from like Western countries. Chinese women, they're definitely way more wifeable than like American women or maybe women in the UK or women who've been tainted by feminism. I mean, you can kind of set up the relationship the way you want. It depends. Like, if you want a woman who like cleans for you and like, you know, is home raising the kids, you can have that. But you need to play your role. So like, if you want the woman to be traditional, that means you got to be the traditional man too. You got to have your finances in order, and you got to make it so that she can like relax and she doesn't have to worry about like making money. Like if you want the woman, I'm thinking that's what you guys want, right? I think like a lot of you guys, like you want the woman to like stay home and raise your kids or something. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So like if you want that, it's a lot easier to do if she doesn't have to work and you have enough money to take care of things. So like definitely get on your hustle, get good with money. And yeah, that's, you know, like basically you can have traditional, like, you know, women are feminine. They're gentle with you. They like being with you. You can be sweet to them. Like I know a lot of us were raised in this kind of Western culture where like women like it when you're kind of not nice to them. I guess like Western women, they don't like it when guys are too nice to them. But with Asian women and specifically Chinese women, they like it when you're nice to them. They like it when you're sweet to them and like, you know, you treat them like a little princess and like, you know, like you can have like a really feminine woman, submissive, like, you know, do what you like kind of relationship. But you got to do your part though. You do your part and she'll do the part that you're looking for her to do.
Awesome. Fantastic, bro. So are Chinese women also feminine and submissive? You know, I want me a feminine chick that paints her nails, that's very girly, and I want a submissive chick that lets me lead the relationship. And I also want it to be submissive to the point where when I tell her, hey baby girl, can you bathe and moisturize me? To me, that's the pinnacle of femininity and submissiveness. When your own girlfriend or wife bathes you in the bathing tub and then moisturize you from head to toe. Can I get that cooperation from a Chinese chick? Submissiveness, femininity, and of course her bathing me and moisturizing me from head to toe like a newborn baby. Break it down for me, brother.
Yeah, man, like you can get that. Like, you know, women are gonna be feminine. You can get them feminine, submissive, like she's girly. So here's the thing, guys. You gotta know that sometimes the thing that you want, it could be different than what another guy wants. So like for me, I've never really like, you know, the thing that IP just said about like having the woman like bathe you and like from head to toe. For me, hey, that sounds really great. That's not something that I've ever looked for, but hey, it sounds great. If she's offering that, sure, why not? I'll take it. But basically you need to know that sometimes you gotta like take women step by step. Like, so like if you want the woman to bathe you from head to toe, you might have to tell her like, hey babe, bathe me from head to toe. Like she's maybe never done that before. Like don't for you guys who are like looking for a woman, not every woman that you meet is gonna do everything 100% correctly the first time. So like your definition of submissive might be a little bit different than another guy's definition of submissive. So you just need to take your time and be patient and try to kind of educate and train women, like train her to be like your perfect woman. Because like you might not find the perfect woman like right out the box. So, sometimes you gotta like, you gotta say, hey babe, I like this kind of thing. I really like it when you do this, and like let her know. Don't expect the woman to just automatically know what you want, because like yeah. So that's my suggestion, guys. Just be patient with women, be a good teacher, and like try to like slowly build her into like what you want her to be.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Sonny Robinson for the $10 super chat. He says, does Asian women love blacker American black or African black men? They do. I asked that, bro. They definitely do. They definitely love American black men, and they do check for African black men in China. So if you're an African brother, you're good money, brother. You're good money. Awesome. Shout out to Mr. Jeremy Sears. I just saw that for the $5 super chat. Jeremy said, you're going ham tonight. 8th time tonight. Appreciate you, bro, for the support. Thank you very much, brother. Awesome. So next question for you, brother, is so I want to know how mentally strong Chinese women are. Okay. So let's say you go to China and you find a woman there, great woman, wifeable. You bring her back to America. Will she keep to her Chinese customs and Chinese culture, or will she change to the horrible, wicked ways of American culture? Feminism, man-hating, a beast, I hate men, men are trash, men are responsible for everything bad in the world, dye her hair purple or blue, and do all sorts of nonsense. Will she change to that kind of woman, or will she keep to her Chinese culture?
Okay, this is a good question. It's really hard to say because, first of all, if she doesn't speak English, her desire to leave China is probably a lot lower. If she speaks English and she speaks fluent English, her desire to leave China is probably higher. Now, if she leaves China, and like for example, America, there are different Chinese communities. She may or may not want to be friends with other Chinese people when she goes over to a new country. Maybe. The less English she speaks, I think the higher probability that she'll want to stick to hanging out with Chinese people. If she speaks really fluent English and like you're like, she's dated lots of foreigners before, she's more likely to want to hang out with other foreigners, and she'll get that kind of foreign influence, which kind of, it does seem to taint women, I guess. Like a lot of stuff, like, I think like Western dating is very toxic, like guys tell me about the games that women play in America. Like it seems really toxic to me. So I would be careful letting your girl be friends with like kind of like the average American woman who plays those kind of games, because that could be a negative influence on your girl. But it just depends. Like yeah, but I don't suggest, like, I would never go back to America, honestly. Like living in there's so much better countries and like with better culture overall that like this is kind of a non-issue for me. I'm making plans to leave China. Like me and my girl are looking at countries that we could relocate to, and so I'm not really stressed about.
Are you looking to, is that Japan, or is it back to America, or is it somewhere in Europe, or is it keeping within the Asia region?
Definitely not back to America. Thailand is looking pretty good. Thailand. My girl really likes Bali, Indonesia. It's like a really nice, looks like really relaxing there. The options are open. I'm gonna wait until like this Russian war thing dies down a little bit before I make any decisions, because I don't want to like end up in a situation where I go to a place and suddenly something crazy pops off and oh great, now I gotta move again. So I'm gonna stick here until like they run out of bullets that they're shooting at each other, and then then I'll make my move.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, brother. So next question for you, brother, is: are Chinese women conservative in their thinking? or are they liberal in their political thinking, brother?
This goes back to like her amount of like Western influence. If she doesn't speak any English, all she does all day is like read Chinese media, look at Chinese TV, etc. So her way of thinking is going to be way more traditional compared to a woman who she looks at like foreign media and stuff. So the average woman, pretty traditional. Here's the thing, y'all. In Chinese culture, money is important. It's pretty important. So spending money definitely seems to be a big way to show affection over here, because like that's like, you know, in Western culture, I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are way more generous than I am. Like maybe you guys are way better boyfriends or something than I am. But like, you know, spending dropping cash on women has never really been something that I did. But it can be an expectation over here. Like, you know, you're the man. So like, you know, to show affection, because that's what Chinese guys do. Chinese guys, they spend a lot of money on women. It's just in the culture here. They spend a lot of money on women. So that can affect your girl's expectations. She might expect you to also spend a good amount of change on her, because that's pretty common over here. Like guys spend a large percentage of their paycheck on their girlfriend. So just be aware of that. You know, if you want traditional, that I think that's traditional China stuff. So you're gonna get what you're asking for. So come prepared. Just know about that.
Okay, thank you, bro. Next question for you, brother, is obviously China is the second biggest economy in the world. Have you come across rich Chinese women in your past, and were they checking for brothers, these rich Chinese women, or they stick to Chinese men?
Okay, so it's really interesting in China. China has like this really large population of women who are over the age of 30 or over the age of 35 who are unmarried, and like they have money. So like maybe they have their own business, and like they have, for some reason, they make a good amount of money. So like if you're one of those types of guys who's looking for like a sugar mama, I know lots of guys over here who have that kind of relationship with women. Like I have friends who they
Black
only
men?
date. Like you know, it's pretty common like in Asia, in China, it's like this interesting culture, man. Like it's like a lot of
So
rich
hold on,
older
bro.
women.
You're telling me that black men in China are dating these rich women?
Yeah, like you can find you like a rich MILF, like if that's what you're into, like
Hold
a
on,
rich
bro. But
Asian.
let's say we want a rich young Chinese chick, 18 to 23. Are they checking for women, those rich women within that age range? We want that prime sweet spot there where she's in her prime, she's beautiful, she's young, she's rich. Yeah, is she checking for brothers?
Probably not specifically, because if she's rich, that means like she has money and she doesn't really need like, if the less a woman needs you, the less kind of power you're gonna have to be able to like try to get a relationship with her. So like if a girl is like rich, she has tons of money, she can travel the world wherever she wants. You're probably not gonna be super special to her because she has money and she can like travel to a foreign country anytime. So like you have less power that way, because like the woman can kind of snap her fingers and I'll catch a flight tomorrow. I can just use my dad's credit card to like go to a country. So it's less likely, but the richer she is, the more likely she has higher education and higher English level. So that can be your kind of way of like getting a relationship with her. Because like she's like more foreign, she likely has more foreign influence. But like specifically, like if she's like young and hot, a young, beautiful, rich girl, like those types of women, you can get those women. You're just gonna have to work a lot harder because she has so many options. Like you're not the only black guy she has access to. Like if she's a rich girl, she can literally hop on a plane and go to America and be surrounded by black guys or wherever in like a day. So like you have less power in that situation. So yeah.
Let me ask this, brother. So let's sidetrack here. Second biggest economy in the world. A lot of black men are there, particularly Africans. are the African black men or black men in general doing well economically in China? Are they making big money? Are they living great lives in big houses, driving big cars? You know, because we see the Chinese in Africa and in the Caribbeans become millionaires and living great lives there. I expect to see the black people, the black men living in China, also living great lives there and making big money. Is that the case there, bro?
Yeah, yeah. So like basically, a lot of Africans they come over to China. They come here as students. So when they're a student, they're probably not making a lot of money. They're probably kind of broke. But then like when they graduate, a lot of them they have pretty good job opportunities in China because,
Ooh,
basically like as a foreigner, as foreigners, we have an advantage over Chinese people. Like we they a company that hires us, they're gonna pay us more than they pay a Chinese person, and it'll be easier for us to get a job than it would be for a Chinese person. So basically, you when you graduate, assuming that you graduate with a skill that can get you a job, you're gonna probably have an easier time getting a job than a Chinese person might. Hey, but I think your Chinese skill matters though. Like if you're gonna work in a Chinese
but hold on,
company,
bro. But are they making money? The African men, are they living great? Like, are they becoming wealthy there in China, bro? Are they making riches there? That's what I want
uh,
to know, bro.
yeah, like make pretty good money. I don't know about rich. I don't know about rich, but basically, it seems like they have more opportunity over here than they would in their own country. And me too. Like I have more opportunity over here. Like easier to get opportunities than I would in America probably. So yeah, like you can make money here, and you can make as much money as you're looking to make. But in terms of like getting job is easier for you. For business, it's more difficult because like okay, if you're doing business, you're directly competing with a Chinese person, and doing business in China is super complicated and it can be very frustrating for a lot of people. So it's less people. Of course, it's going to be less people who are getting rich off business in China compared to like people who are just getting a good life working a job.
Okay, awesome, brother. Awesome. How long do we have left?
I got like at least like another like 50 minutes, 50 or 55 minutes. I think we're good. Um
Fantastic. That's beautiful. So let me run through these questions and then we'll open up the phone lines. Um, before that, so the brother has a YouTube channel called Dixon. I can't say it properly. The Zonski, right? So
yeah.
brothers, please check out his channel. He's out there in China. Here's a link to his channel in the live stream chat. Mr. Dazonsky. I'm probably sure it's some sort of quirky, weird Chinese stuff, but I'm a Japanese dude. But I'm sure the brother has great content on his channel. So go there, subscribe to his channel, and show love to him. Okay, Danny Dixon Dazonsky. Um, so next question for you, Danny, is um, okay. Hold on, bro. Let me see. Religion. What religion um, do they follow the Chinese woman? Are they mostly atheists? Any Christians there? That brothers who are Christians can go and find Christians there, or is it mostly an atheist country? You won't find a Christian there.
Okay, so China is a pretty diverse country. There are like different minorities. Like for example, like in my city, there are lots of Xinjiang people, and Xinjiang people seem to be like Muslim. So like that's kind of like a pretty dominant religion here. Like a lot of Muslim people. My girl told me we had a conversation like a week ago or so, something where she told me that there's a part of China where a lot of people can be Christian. So probably Christian and Muslim is like the highest one, but like those are minorities. Like the average person that you talk to on the street, like Chinese people, they worship money. They worship money. They don't worship like any kind of like God or like afterlife. So like, the average Chinese person that you meet, their God is like that money. That's what they pray to. So you probably don't expect to meet tons of religious women here.
Okay, awesome, bro. Awesome. Next question for you, brother, is social media. Is social media a problem there in what's it called in China amongst the women? So in the West, brother, in America, um, we've seen women right get gassed off of followers, likes, etc., etc. And these women are literally 3.5 out of 10 in looks, and they become gassed up. They become influenced by feminism, being pushed out with feminism. within the social media platforms. Is there a problem there, brother? Feminism? Sorry, social media amongst the women there. Social media.
Um, I don't think so. Like, okay, like I, America, I guess we have this kind of Instagram culture where like women they get like tons of like how to say they get tons of what do you call it? Like validation. They get tons of validation from like random guys online. So like they get tons of validation from random guys online. Um, China doesn't really have that kind of culture. Like women here, the only ones who have Instagram are like the ones who we talked about earlier, who are like kind of like maybe have Western influence. They have like Western, you know, kind of ideals and things like that. So those women, like they probably use Instagram. And they might have their head gassed up by like random guys clicking likes. But even then, like if you follow any Chinese people on these platforms, you're not gonna see they don't have like tons of followers like the average, like the average hot chick in America might have like 10K followers or something like that. But that didn't really over here. That's not really a thing. Oh, I think the link you posted, I think the link for my YouTube channel, the one you posted, that's not correct. I just changed my handle last night, so maybe it hasn't loaded yet. But basically, my YouTube handle is like Dixonski. So just type in DIXONSKII Dixonski, and you should be able to see my channel. I'm gonna start uploading to YouTube starting this week. So that's why I decided to like share my YouTube channel, because I have lots of content and I have some place I can put it. So I need to have some place I can put it. So YouTube, why not?
Put the link in the private chat, the link, so I can post it in the live stream chat, please. Because you're right, it's probably hasn't updated on YouTube. So if you post in the private chat, the one you have, and I'll post it on the live stream chat. Okay. So the next question for you, Danny, is clubs and bars. How is the clubs and bars scene in China and in your city? Is it where you keep that woman from, or is it where the pros come out? Keeping it PG, is that where the pros come out? Women who sell box. Can you find a girlfriend there in the clubs and bar scene?
Yeah. So basically, the clubs and bars, that's probably where you're gonna have your highest hit rate. To be honest with you, like you're gonna have your highest hit rate in the clubs and bars because you're less likely. So if you just cold approach, like for me, I like approaching women. Like I like just cold approach. Like I'm walking around, I see a beautiful woman, I go up, start a conversation with her. That's how I meet women. That's how I met my girlfriend, But I met my girlfriend at a nightclub, though, like outside of a nightclub. I went up and started a conversation with her. So like if you go to a nightclub, you're more likely to meet women who are like interested in meeting guys and who are interested in dating and who are like, they're looking for something and they're willing to like, they're willing to like, open up for you. Like that's what relationships are. Like it's like an exchange of value. It's an exchange of value. Relationships are an exchange of value. So you're more likely to meet women who are down for that kind of exchange of value that us Western guys are probably looking for in a nightclub, because those women are just generally more open, more fun, more social. And yeah, so nightclubs are good. And I never really had any bad experiences meeting. I've only met a pro one time by accident when I was playing on like the dating apps. Like I thought I had like a girl, like a normal girl. Then when I bring her to my home, she's talking about, are you going to pay for this? And I'm like, what? I thought this was like I thought this was a home run. I thought this was a date, but apparently not, So be careful on those dating apps, guys. I don't do dating apps. I prefer going out and just meeting women, cold approach. That's my favorite way of meeting women, because you can see everything right there in front of you. You don't have to like play these kind of games on the app where you don't know what the woman looks like, like even if the women on the apps, they might be easier, but you might probably get lower quality. So I just prefer cold approach. Like I see a woman, I go start a conversation with her. That's my method.
Awesome. So brothers, I just posted a link to his channel, Dazonsky. Go and check out his channel, go and subscribe to it. Go and check out. Make sure you subscribe to and show love to the brother on his channel, Dazonsky. I posted a link to it in the live stream chat. Fantastic. So shout out to Mr. Anthony Thomas for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Anthony, for the support. He says, thanks, IP. Thank you, bro. Much appreciated for the donation, Anthony Thomas, with the Boondocks AVI. I love that cartoon, bro. I love the Boondocks. Classic. Thank you, brother. Awesome. So, next question for you, brother, is...
Can you lower your voice?
I bet.
Can you lower your voice a little bit? And after this, I want to talk to you after the call.
Okay. All right. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
am I speaking too loud?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I think, that's why I told you guys earlier, like, in the previous thing, like, maybe it's because, like, our choice of topics and stuff, it's like, could be kind of sensitive,
Okay, so now we're going to the more PG part, bro. So let me ask this, bro. What are the best places to meet Chinese women, in your opinion? Is it the bars? Is it the clubs? Is it through your friend? Is it the nightclubs? Is it museum? Where are the best places to meet Chinese women that are respectable, to wife up, and just normal minded?
Normal minded, best places. I guess it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. The best place to meet women who are normal minded, I don't know, man. Like normal minded. I think anywhere, man. Like honestly, like okay, when you go out to a nightclub, you're more likely to meet like a kind of like a woman who's kind of like maybe more like a little wild and stuff. But it's like but yeah, man. Like it just
Coffee
depends,
shop.
man.
So
Yeah, like
coffee shop, like Starbucks. Where can we meet women just in general?
yeah, like basically like okay, I have a friend. I told you my American friend in Chongqing. He's like he's kind of like a smart guy. He likes to read books and stuff. So basically for him, it's like he wants like a girl who's kind of like more traditional and like she's kind of like can be like kind of smart and like have conversation with her. So he likes to go to bookstores and things like that. So for him, it's like he's like he does that. He like goes to like those kind of places where kind of smart girls hang out, like art galleries and things like that. That's where he can meet people.
Okay, awesome, bro.
I see the guys in the comment section. The guys in the comment section are roasting me. Like, yeah, man. Like, you gotta deal with this kind of stuff. Like, when you look, it's different overseas. Like, basically, like when you have like a relationship with someone, it's not like they don't take it like casually. Like, it's like kind of more serious. So, like, when you're the guy that you're with, he's like over here, like talking to guys about like his past relationships and stuff. Like, a woman hears that, she might, kind of makes things a little emotional. So, might have to have like one of those talks like after this call. You're gonna have to like, Anyway.
No worries, bro. So next question for you, brother, is online dating. So before you met your girlfriend, were you on the apps? If so, what app was successful for you? Do you recommend online dating for brothers? Break it down for us, the online dating game there in China.
Basically, I don't play online, but like in online, I guess they have this thing called Tan. It's kind of like the Chinese version of Tinder. And they also have Tinder in China, but I don't really do that. Like I know guys who like, they rack up the numbers using these apps, but it's like I don't recommend it for like if you want like best quality women, I guess. Like I don't recommend it. But I don't play online. But you can do that, and it is a viable way of meeting women. Like a lot of guys do that.
Okay, awesome, bro. Next question for you, brother, is would you say that Chinese women are what's it called, materialistic at all? Do they want the Gucci bag, the Armani bag, the Prada bag from their foreign boyfriends? Or are they humble, like they would accept like a Primark t-shirt, maybe like a chocolate bar to show your love for her? Break it down for us, brother.
Yeah, like basically you show your affection like in Asian culture is through gifts. Like, you show through gifts and like, words of affection. I wouldn't say the average Chinese woman is materialistic, but it's just like, it's like the cultural thing. Like, you know, people, I live right across the street. There's the Gucci store. So it's like, okay, they have the Gucci store here. People can, like, you know, spend money. Guys, like, I see guys holding shopping bags all the time. Like, they buy women, like, they buy women's stuff. Like, you know, it's pretty common here. Guys buy women pretty expensive stuff as a way of showing affection. So it's like, you know, basically, it's more common here. Probably more common than what you're used to in, like, Western country, like, you know, buying gifts and stuff.
So you tell me about I gotta buy a Chinese chick a Gucci bag. I ain't spending money on no Gucci bag on a chick, bro. She gonna have to accept my chocolate bar as a gift, or we're going out to Nando's or, you know, Chipotle. It ain't no way I'm buying her a Gucci bag, bro. She must be out of her mind. You know, so would that mean Chinese chick won't come after me? She won't date me? I should go after Russian girls in China instead.
You don't have to do that, honestly. Just any gift that kind of show your affection. Like, it's something that I kind of had to learn, because, like, it's not something that I would normally do. But it's like, yeah, like, you know, like showing affection through kind of gift giving, like, and just stuff that just show that you care, like stuff that shows that you like affection and all these kind of things. That's what matters, like the thought that counts. So, like, for some guys, it comes easier than others. Like, for a lot of us guys in America, like, we kind of been trained to, like, you know, be kind of, I guess, maybe show women we don't care that much. So, like, I don't know how gift giving works in the West, but it's like, you know, over here, like, it's pretty regular thing. Like, you know, just do it regularly. Kind of, it's like a way of showing affection.
Okay, awesome, brother. Next question for you, brother, is what are the bad parts about Chinese women that we should be aware of? I'm guessing jealousy is a big part of it. Anything else that we should be aware of that are like bad traits about Chinese women that you want to recommend tell brothers about? Like your girl coming through. Tell us, brother.
Wait, say what was one more time? Well, one more thing. Say one more time. I was looking at the comments.
So I'm asking you, brother, what are the bad traits about Chinese women that we should be aware of? Is it jealousy? Is it attitude? Is it entitlement? Break it down for us, brother. Give us the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, that first thing that you just said, that's like a big thing. As we've clearly just seen, like, you know, right here on my live stream, that aspect right there is really big here. Like, you know, they can get pretty emotional about that kind of thing. So yeah, it's similar over here. Like, women, like, this whole independence thing, that's not like really a big thing in other countries. It's like, when you're together with a woman, she's planning kind of the future with you. So it's like, it's not like she can just kind of disengage emotionally. Like, the more she's with you, it's going to be like, she's going to get emotionally attached. And, like, the more attached the woman is, the more, like, you're going to have these kind of mood swings. So here's one thing I want you guys to know. Women are going to be women. So, like, as a man, you're going to have to deal with women's emotions. And, like, some women are more emotional than others. So, like, if you don't want to deal with that, you're going to have a difficult time, like, having, like, long-term relationships with women. So you need to be able to handle, like, you know, be the man. Like, don't expect the woman to act like a man. Like, women are going to be women. So that means you're going to have to deal with, like, the woman's emotions, like, goes up and down. You know, sometimes she's happy, sometimes she's not, sometimes she gets upset. You got to deal with that as a man. You got to manage it. That's women's emotions. You got to deal with it. It's not always going to be sunshines and, like, you know, a lot of you guys follow me on Facebook and stuff. Like, you see, like, happy pictures and stuff. And you see us smiling, but, like, sometimes, you know, things aren't always like that. So you got to deal with stuff sometimes. So yeah, that's what you got to deal with. Like, you got to be good. You have to be able to manage your emotions, and you got to manage the other one, the woman's emotions. Because if you don't, things can get out of control.
Okay, awesome, brother. Next question for you, brother, is cold approaching. Can we cold approach women in China? Is that acceptable? Have you cold approached women yourself? And have women cold approached you? If so, how do we cold approach a Chinese chick? Is it simple, hey, you look nice? Are you free for coffee tomorrow? Break it down for us, brother.
Yeah. Basically, like, that's my main way of meeting women, just cold approach. I'm in a relationship. I haven't done that in a while. So I haven't done that, but in a while, I'm pretty rusty. But that's like the main way, I think. And I know in America, at least, it's like getting dangerous or something, like the cold approach. Like, you can, like, go to go to, you can get arrested or something just for like going up and talking to a woman. But that's not the situation overseas. Like, it's kind of like, it's not like that over here. It's like, you gotta like, you can be kind of, you don't have to worry about that. Just be respectful, and, you can have options.
Have you been cold approached by a Chinese chick before?
Yeah, but it's just kind of like a general, like they just say hi. They just kind of like, different levels of aggressiveness you might experience, but it's like, it just, you can, people will say hi to you, especially if like you're the only foreigner in the room. If you're the only foreigner in the room, you're gonna have people just say hi to you and like open up a conversation with you. They won't be probably as direct and aggressive. Like maybe if you're like really tall and good looking, they'll be like more direct and aggressive. But like generally, like yeah, sometimes people will say hi to you at least.
Okay, awesome, brother. Let's run through these questions quickly. Next one is, how should men dress out there in China, bro? Do we come through wearing Sean John jeans, 4XL white tees, gold teeth, gold chain, New York Jet snapback, Timberland boots, baggy jeans, and Echo coats? Or do we come through wearing a suit? So how exactly should we dress out there in China to attract a respectable woman, brother?
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Like, it depends on the types of women you're trying to meet. For me, my style, I've changed my style a lot. I used to dress like really colorfully and like kind of wild. Now I'm kind of like more like, more like a little bit conservative, I think. So it's just like, it depends what you're aiming for. I guess if you're aiming for professional women, you want to wear like suit and tie and be professional. But if you want to like, more younger women, just more casual, like, I guess like the hip hop, like kind of like, yeah, it's I can't even stereotype, man. Honestly, like, you got to get out there and test it for yourself. But yeah, if you're going for like business, that type, like, you can have like business style.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Touching upon nightlife again, how is that in general? Is it very vibrant? Is it fun? Or is it boring, the Chinese nightlife?
It's fun. It was fun, but it's not as fun now, because before 2020, like all the craziness that's happened, nightclubs were like way more, you got different people coming into the city. It's like more open and everything. Now like it's kind of like dead and dying, like a lot of lockdown stuff, and it's like not as fun as it used to be. It's still fun sometimes, but like before it was like way more fun. Like things were a lot more diverse. Now it's like, yeah, it's like less so. It's definitely less so, but it's still good. But yeah, man, like before 2020, it was just way better, like way more clubs, way more people coming to the city. Now it's like, we got lockdowns and things are like less fun now. So honestly, like I love living in China, but like I have to give you guys the perspective. Like I've been in China since 2015. So from 2015 to 2020, things in China were like going up, things were like improving year after year. Then after 2020, things kind of started reversing. So I can't really suggest that you make any long-term plans to come to China.
Okay.
Because the outlook, I'm not sure about the outlook, honestly. But I've been here for a long time. That's the reason why my life here is pretty good. But I can't really suggest, I don't really know what the future outlook is for guys who are wanting to come here.
Awesome, brother. Next question for you, brother, is so apart from Chengdu, what other cities in China are good for black men to go and date the woman there? Where the women love black men, apart from Chengdu? Is it Shanghai? Is it Hong Kong? Break it down for us, bro. From what you've heard and seen.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Shanghai, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, those areas that are like really developed. Those are like the more international cities. So you're gonna have like more kind of international like options. So yeah, that's what you're gonna have there.
What about Guangdong? Yeah. Is that also another option?
I think so. Like I know I have a lot of friends who like do business in Guangdong, and like it seems like a pretty good foreign population there. Yeah, I can't say though, because honestly, guys, I really love my city. I lived in Chengdu for like 7 years or 6 years, so like I love it so much that I rarely leave here. So like I haven't really explored China as much as I should have, but I just really like my city so much that I rarely leave.
Okay, awesome, brother. Next question for you, brother, is what's the ratio of women to men in China? Is it more women than men, or is it 50-50? Or is it
Okay,
women
like
than women?
I used to hear like a lot of stuff about this ratio about men to women in China. That doesn't really affect. You're not gonna see like a big imbalance. 'Cause, like a lot of the men, they work in like the outside, like kind of like a farm area. So like they're not. Even though there's like supposedly there's more men in China, it's like in your daily life that's not gonna really factor in because like most of those guys are working out in the farms, which are not in the big cities. So it's like
Awesome, thank you, brother. Next question for you, brother, is N-word use. Has the N-word been said towards you? Have you experienced racism in China before? Has any slurs been said towards you, like the N-word, and during rap songs as well? Are they singing out loud during rap songs? Or no, break it down for us, brother, the N-word towards you.
I mean, basically, like, they don't understand what these words mean. Like when they hear the N word, they don't know about the cultural significance behind it. So when they hear it in a rap song, they see black guys throwing it around. Like it's not. They don't really see it as like a hate slur. But there are some people who do. Like some people who are like they know like if they say that it'll like upset a black person. Me personally, I don't really say the N word because like when I was in high school, I said it a lot, but like I cleaned up my language a lot as I got older, so I don't really throw out the N word that much. But yeah,
Have they said the
yeah,
N-word towards you before?
okay. There was one time like last year, me and my girl were walking down the street. This was on like Valentine's Day, and like me and my girl on this side of the street, there was some guy on the other side of the street. This was Valentine's Day, mind you. So like I told you earlier, during these kind of situations where like you're with a girl and maybe another guy he doesn't have a girl, he might get kind of upset. I guess he was like trying to like get me upset or something. Like he said, "Hey," like he said the N word, but he was like on the other side. I didn't even look at him. I didn't. But he said he kind of mispronounced it. But basically, I think he was trying to say like a racial slur to like try to get me angry or something. But I didn't even pay him any attention because like I know these guys are like salty on Valentine's Day. They're kind of lonely, so of course they want to like throw some salt at a guy who's like trying to live his best life and like So it's not really. You're probably not gonna have a bunch of people calling you the N word unless they're like really trying to provoke you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip China. There's something wrong with that country. I mean, maybe for other brothers, but China is just it's just too extreme for me, man. After hearing
Yeah.
that, they're on some nonsense, bro. So next question
Well,
for you,
well,
brother, is
well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. Like, I understand guys who say no for China. I understand. But you gotta understand, y'all. Like, China's like a huge country. Like, I walk down the street, I literally pass thousands of Chinese people every day. Most of them don't bother me. Most of them are nice. It's only like 1% out of the thousands of people that I meet who like they try to start some trash from like less than 1%. So like that kind of situation, that was like the only time in my 8 years of being in China that I think someone called me the N word in a way that was trying to provoke me. Like, when I say these kind of stories to you, if this kind of stuff happened to me every day, then I wouldn't have much to talk about. But I told you about a story that happened like a year ago. I don't want you guys to take these kind of situations and assume that like that's gonna happen to you. Like, probably might not happen to you. Like, I've been here like 8 years. That's like the first time where someone tried to provoke me with the N word, and even then, they mispronounced the N word so badly that it was kind of like comical. Like I didn't even look at this guy, but if I had looked at the guy who said that to me, if I had to guess, he's probably not the kind of guy who gets lots of women. So of course he's kind of a loser, and like guys who are losers are gonna like be jealous. In America, it's the same thing, guys. Like guys who don't have what you have, they're gonna be salty sometimes because that's just how it is. So like you got to get over there and experience your own thing. Like there's always gonna be somebody who has a bad story about something. Like there are tons of people who have bad stories about China. They hate China. I love living in China. China's been great for me, but I understand it might not be for everybody.
okay, thank you, bro. Next question for you, brother, is dangers to be aware of in China, as a black man? What should we be aware of, brother? That's very important for us to know before we touch down with our almighty selves in China. Break it down for me, bro.
I don't think there's anything specifically about being black in China that you need to worry about. It's more about being a foreigner. You're just not Chinese. So like basically, like I told you earlier, be careful about the law enforcement. And here's the thing, y'all, like the law is like the law over here in China or in these foreign countries is like they apply things very like they just it's very like subjective how they apply laws. Like, you know, my girl just showed me like last night, she showed me a story about a girl who like she got arrested for 15 days because she posted something online about like something. Yeah, like yeah, it was like about like the mask situation or something. Like she posted like a bad picture related to wearing mask in China, and apparently she got arrested or something. Like that kind of stuff can happen. Like these kind of random, like that's not even like, you know, how do you get arrested for that? But it's like, you know, just try to avoid situations with the law. Like the less you have to talk to the police, the less you have to deal with the police, the better, you know.
Okay, so in general, it's safe for black men in China. You think so? It's safe for black men to live there and to date Chinese women there and live a great life there. It's safe for black men.
Yeah, like pretty much the only times where I feel danger is like, okay, Chinese people drive kind of crazy, so it can be kind of dangerous. Like, you know, when you're crossing the street, look both ways when you cross the street. Look both ways twice. And at nighttime, when there's alcohol involved, people act crazy. And it's not even about safety. It's about like making sure that you don't put yourself in a situation where you might lose your temper and snap on a guy who, like, you know, he keeps bothering you, like a drunk guy who keeps bothering you. Like, you know, it's about avoiding those kind of situations so you can, like, you know, live your best life and you don't have to deal with the police and paying lots of money for some guy's hospital bills. Because I know lots of guys who they got into fights and they had to pay for the other guy's hospital bills. And it's not fun, like when, you know, you whip somebody, then you got to pay their hospital bills and you feel like, you know, dang, I should have just stayed home that night, you know.
Awesome, bro. Last question before I open up the phone lines is, should black men travel there alone or in a group to China? And tell us why.
You can travel alone, man. Like, you know, like a lot of guys travel here alone. They did before things got locked down. But here's the thing. If you don't know the language, you might want to just stick to Shanghai where people speak English. Because if you come to these smaller cities, it's like people don't really speak English. So you're going to be kind of, you know, it's not going to be as easy for you to get around. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Like, travel with, maybe have friends here already. If you don't speak the language, it would be helpful to either have a person to travel with you who does speak the language, or already have people here who speak the language.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. So if you have any questions, please cash up and super chat your questions. So that goes for you, Mr. Fabian Scott. Please cash up and super chat your questions. I'm more popular phone lines in a bit. Again, please make sure you go and subscribe and check out the brother's channel. Let me just pull it up real quick on this garbage laptop that I have. I need to get a new laptop. Dzonski. Here's a link to his channel in the chat. And I'm read a couple of super chats real quick because brother's only got 10-15 minutes left. So shout out to Mr. Mayhem 1994 for the $5 super chat. Is it hard for black men to get Chinese women in China? In the States, it's difficult. No, he said no in the stream earlier on, brother. It's okay to get a Chinese woman, but go for Russian woman. Would you say so, bro?
And here, it depends on the types you go for. Because, like, you guys got to understand, as black men, maybe the types of women that you find attractive is different than the type of woman that a Chinese guy finds attractive. So if you're going for the types of women that, like, rich billionaire Chinese guys are chasing after, you're going to have a much more difficult time. But, like, you know, for black guys, we tend to like girls different than, like, what the average Chinese guy likes. So, like, it's kind of like, you know, you're not competing with, like, millions of guys, like, you know, the way if you're going for those types of, you know, the cultural ideal kind of thing. So, yeah, that's my feedback on that. Like, the types that you like is probably different than the types that local guys like.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Big Truck Series Review Motorsports. What's up, brother? For the £1, $1.99 super chat. Greatest woman of my life. I dated in Shanghai. Okay, brother. Please call in to speak on that. That's going to be a very interesting story. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. You have like 10 minutes left, right, Bizonski? You've got 10
Yeah, we
minutes
can
left.
chat for a while. We got like yeah, we can give you like 10 minutes or 10, 15, whatever. Like
Okay,
I think it's good.
awesome. Awesome. So, brothers, call in right now. If you have any questions for our guests regarding Chinese women, please call in and please be respectful to our guests, or you will be punished. Okay, and of course, call in. Okay, call in right now, brothers. Call in. Let me just pin this in the live stream chat real quick, bro. So make sure you check out our Patreon talk of me and Dezonsky, where the brother breaks down the explicit talk in regards to Chinese women, Russian women. They're freaks. They're freaks. Don't let the whole innocent image fool you. A lot of these women, some of them are freaks, and it's very important for you brothers to know how these women get down in the bedroom. Okay, so that's on the Patreon diamond tier. Go and check it out right now. That was a classic. Hold on. So, and also check out the Twitter as well. So feel free to follow me on Twitter and send me a DM on Twitter if you have any questions. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm also on IG, so make sure you follow me on IG. Send me a DM on IG, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. The Cash App is open 24/7, so feel free to support me anytime you want to. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And of course, support me by copying the merch as well, the International Passport merch. That'd be greatly appreciated too. Thank you very much, brothers. And of course, go and check out my new YouTube channel, International Passport Clips. Go and subscribe to there for upcoming clips and vlog content. Okay. And of course, here's a link to the Facebook group in which you must be a Patreon member to be accepted in the Facebook group amongst high value men. So, Mr. Big Truck Series, can you turn the camera on the background so I know you are a brother? So I know you're not a troll, real quick, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you, bro. You're confirmed, bro. Thank you, Big Truck Series. Let me bring in Mr. Big Truck Series. What's going on, bro? How you doing, brother?
Hey, good evening, brother. What province are you in?
I'm in Sichuan province.
Oh, okay. Have you traveled around? You've been to Beijing? You've been to Shanghai?
I haven't been to Beijing because I haven't really heard too many good things about Beijing, honestly, because I heard it's like super crowded and like I don't know about the environment, but honestly, man, I've been in Sichuan for a long time. I haven't traveled too much in China because like I just feel really comfortable here in Sichuan. Like it basically has everything I need. I never really felt the desire to like relocate to a different part of China or even to spend too much time in other areas of China. So I'm like a Sichuan guy. So
Have you been to Shanghai though?
Yeah, I've been to Shanghai, but like only briefly. Like I didn't really experience it. Like I've heard enough about it to like kind of have an idea. If I was gonna go, I probably should have went pre 2020. Now these days, I probably won't go because like it doesn't seem like the kind of ideal situation what's going on over there right now.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, the COVID thing has probably thrown everything out of whack. But just to give you a little bit of background on me, I first came to China in 2001, pretty much right after 9/11. And I stayed there for 2 years. I was in Fudan University. I was studying Mandarin Advanced, and I was also studying business because I was taking business in China, right? So this was long before China really, really, really grew really, really fast. This was like pretty much, not long after they'd entered the WTO. Now, what most of the dudes here want to know about is Chinese women and Chinese dating, right? Now, you're in Sichuan. I would imagine that's like even easier mode than I had it in Shanghai. And even that I consider relatively easy. First of all, as a black man, especially an American black man, Chinese women want to meet you. They want to sit and talk to you. They want to have language partners, which basically means you're going to be a girlfriend boyfriend situation. I met a beautiful, like probably the prettiest girl I'd ever met. She was from Shandong, right? And she was a student. And the thing about it is, I met her. I met all her other friends. We went out for like coffee because they love going out for coffee, basically. And the thing about it is, we're black men who do go there. We're like such a rarity. And some of them date like the African dudes because there was this African dude from Guinea who he spoke like 5 languages, like 2, 3 Chinese dialects, and he had a cute Chinese girlfriend, right? And some of these African guys, they marry the Chinese women, and some of them go back to Africa because China is trying to strengthen ties in Africa, and marriage is one of the ways they're doing it, right? Um, a lot of black men, I would say, have been told negative and hateful things about China. I do know that during COVID, I mean, they were trying to get rid of the foreigners. They were trying to get them out of there because they know that we're reporting on their internal situation. And it's not so easy for them to, present one image to the media. But as far as dating the women went, very lovely, very friendly, very nice. If you're dating them and you're living with them or whatever, especially if you're in a dorm situation, they cook for you. They're really, really outgoing. If you meet their family, it's like, especially if you speak Chinese, you're in. Like, if you learn enough Chinese to show them that you're serious and everything, the families are friendly. I think more and more Chinese people have become okay with the idea of black men dating Chinese women, specifically because they have a lot of African students, and they also have a lot of more foreigners visiting than ever before. I really liked Shanghai, and I really think that the outer provinces, like if you go to Hangzhou, Suzhou, if you go to Shandong, Sichuan, if you go to any of those other provinces where blacks are a rarity, the women will just, like, you're meeting somebody, period. As far as that question you asked, like, did anybody ever call the N-word? Like, somebody asked that question.
Hold on, bro.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, brother. The brother's short for time, so can I bring in another caller? But we'll come up.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know how many people you were bringing on, but yeah, it's nice to see you. I subscribe to your channel.
So stay right there, Big Chuck series.
I got like 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes, so I got like 15 before I gotta go. So like that's basically
I subscribe to you. If you subscribe to me, I could talk to you later when you have more time because I know it's late there or whatever.
So sure, carry on with your question, Big Chuck series, and then I'll go
sure.
Next,
go ahead. Sure.
Okay, thank you, Big Chuck series. Thank you, brother. So, Salim Robinson, can you turn your camera on in the background, please, so I know you're not a troll? And Dr. Khan, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll? You can turn it off afterwards. Dr. Khan, you confirm. Turn off your camera. Turn it off. Turn off your camera. Salim Robinson, turn on your camera, please, so I know you're not a troll. Let me bring in. I didn't see you, Salim Robinson. It's all blacked out, bro. I need to see your face. It's just a security procedure to show that you are a brother. Thank you, bro. You're confirmed. Turn your camera off. Turn it off. Let me bring in Mr. Sonny Robinson. How you doing, Sonny? You okay, bro?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. Another classic live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, man, I follow your channel and everything. Shout out to the, to the brothers over there. My ADOS brothers over there. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the, the African brothers over there too. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, my problem is, well, my dilemma here is in the Western state is, like in America, is that women here are very, very toxic. They are super toxic, bro. I'm talking like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, the shiz, that's why a lot of us brothers go overseas and get our passports and go overseas, because for the simple fact that, but this goes back to my question. My question is, I'm an aspiring brother, you know what I'm saying? I got my own business and everything, and I'm trying to, I'm looking for more of a traditional wife, and you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for, somebody that can, that got my back, that truly has my back, that can help, inspire me. I ain't looking for motivation, I'm looking for inspiration. And I'm looking for, that perfect traditional, Asiatic woman, you know what I'm saying? And that's what that's about right there. And I seen by, watching it live that the one you have, she's kind of, she kind of jealous too. She always listening, and you know what I'm saying? She always aware of what you're doing and everything. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, bring her up, bro. Bring her up, Dzonski.
I don't think we're ready for that kind of. I don't think we're ready for that kind of smoke, guys. I don't think we want to turn this into like a, you're gonna watch this on you get smoked up.
Nah, not yet, bro, not yet, because you know what I'm saying. Because one thing, you know what I'm saying. You running a business here, and that's what this is about, right here.
Sorry, bro. Bro, but we need one question because brother's only got 15
All
minutes.
right, yeah.
One question.
My question is, like, for me trying to find like trying to find wifey material. You know what I'm saying? What is the best way for me going trying to find wifey material? Like, how long would I have to stay over there? Like, I know I'm gonna have to come over there, and I know I'm gonna have to learn the language and everything. But how long would I have to stay over there to find something like that? Because I still have a lot of ties into the States, business wise. But going over there trying to find one to bring over here that's traditionally, culturally entwined with what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so it seems like you're trying to like find a situation where with a lady that you can bring back to the States. Honestly, man, like it seems like the situation in every country where when you live in that country, you just have like, more time and more opportunities, and like it's like more natural to like to build a long-term relationship. It's more difficult if you're like on a timeline and you have to say like, okay, my vacation ends in 2 weeks. I need to find a wife in 2 weeks. I don't, some guys can do that. I a lot of friends in like Southeast Asia, they do that kind of thing. But honestly, you can find that, but you might need like some kind of dating service or something. I don't suggest using a dating service. Like, but yeah, man, like just normal, like the way I talked about it. Like basically, you come here, you're gonna meet people, and you're gonna like have more opportunities, and like think the sparks. You might hit it off with somebody in that time span that you're here. But definitely, the longer that you're here, the better. Like the longer that you're here, the more opportunities you're gonna come across, and the more likely you can actually build like a kind of stronger relationship, and you can make sure the foundation is strong.
Yeah, because I'm not looking for Southeast Asia. I'm looking more mainland China, somewhere. I'm looking more inland. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Southeast Asia is really everybody go there. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like a lot of Chinese women. They a lot of traditional Asian women are more traditional when you go in the mainland. And I was just wondering, like, if I go over, because I don't want to go to Guangzhong because that place is burnt out, and I seen the things on how they treat the
Sorry, bro. Another question. I got another caller, brother. Brother's running short on time. Just
it's cool. It's cool. But what would be the best? What would be the best? No, what is the best way that like when I stay over there? What's the best way to help me out with the language barrier? Like to help me fluent. Like what's some of the things that you've done to help you learn Mandarin Chinese?
I mainly taught myself using online. There's this website, dominochinese.com, like domino, the one you knock down, dominochinese.com. That's what I use to like learn language. It's online. So you can kind of self-study and like, you can like make little flashcards. I use this little app called Anki, Anki, and I make my own flashcards for studying Chinese. And yeah, that's what I recommend, like Domino Chinese and Anki, and just listening to Chinese music, watching Chinese TV, and you'll get the language and over time. And, the more time you spend, the faster you'll get to a conversational or fluent level. But Chinese is like a long-term commitment, kind of like, you can study for 1 year and then say, all right, I'm never studying ever again. Like, I kind of suggest, like, if you're going to start studying Chinese, look at it as kind of like a long-term, like kind of like a lifetime, like commitment of getting better and better at the language, because that's how language is.
Taijin.
Yeah.
Taijin, brother.
Yeah, Zaijian.
Thank you. Let me bring in Mr. Dr. Khan. How you doing, Doctor?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. How you doing? You okay?
I'm doing okay. Let's make this a little bit more short and sweet. You know me. You already know that Japan. But I always give salutes to the brothers who can make it happen in China. So salute to you, man.
What's that sound?
It's not me.
That's some sort of whistle. Is that you, Dzonsky? It's like some.
Let me close my window. Let me close the window. That's like some kind of cleaning machine going down the street. Let me close the window real quick.
Thank you, bro. It's like some sort of ice cream music when you were a kid. It is the classic, man. It's a classic.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gone now, bro. It's gone.
yeah, that's like the clean. They clean the streets in the morning, and for some reason it has like this weird whistling sound. Okay, anyway.
Carry on, Dr. Khan.
But yeah, I actually came across you in like another Facebook forum for Passport Brothers like us beforehand, and I got to see you're very, very much Don GF. So again, salutes to you. But a point you made in one of those posts is that you believe that it was better for men to look at more developed countries compared to more less developed countries to find a mate. Was that you?
So you said something about like I think it's better for like men to look for like more developed countries. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could agree with that. For first time travelers, if you're a first time traveler, I suggest going to a more developed country. If you're a more experienced traveler, you've been overseas multiple times, or maybe you're living overseas, then you can kind of go like the places that are less developed and that other guys probably haven't been to. But for your first time overseas, this is probably better just to follow the recommendations of other people.
Okay. Especially when it comes to dating, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's all I really got to say. Leave it up to you, my man. Thanks.
Yeah.
How long do you have left, Zonski?
I got another good 5 minutes.
Okay, so let's get a new caller in. Calling now, brothers, before the brother goes. His brother has a busy day ahead of him, so calling right now to ask him any questions. Okay, let's get a new caller in, 102. You got 5 minutes to call in right now. Calling right now to ask brother a question regarding his life in China. This is at the perfect time. Call in, don't be shy. We don't bite. I have a question, bro. In China, have you come across women from Central Asia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, etc.? Is that there in China?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And are they checking for brothers?
Yeah. I've had some pretty great experiences. It's a melting pot here, man. So like, you can it was a melting pot. Like everything I say, like basically I've been in like a long-term relationship for like almost 2 years, and like most of the stuff I'm talking about with you guys was kind of my experience pre 2020 when things were like really open. But basically, like I told you, man, like China, we're surrounded by all these other countries, and China just kind of was a melting pot. It was like, people come in and they're like, they come traveling and they're on like vacation mode, they're on vacation party mode, and that's when wild stuff happens,
Okay, awesome. So we're going to let the brother go. I don't want to take his time for too long. He has work right after this. Thank you very much, Dzonski, for coming on here and dropping game for brothers. We'll definitely seek to have you on the channel again. Maybe next time your girlfriend, when she's not angry with you for speaking about Chinese women. And maybe we can then get her to introduce herself and, of course, about herself and what's it like dating each other, etc. So big thank you, Mr. Danny, aka Dzonski. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. My pleasure, y'all. Like basically from my YouTube channel, I'm gonna be uploading some content either today or maybe later this week. Me and my girl filmed a video. So like, you're gonna like see us out on the streets in action. And maybe eventually my girl will, we can come over here, do a live stream. Hopefully things don't get too heated. You guys asking me about like all my past relationships, and it's like I told you guys earlier.
It will be a very, very PG version stream, despite your being a couple, etc. I'm not going to ask about what you've done with different girls, bro. I'm going to keep it very respectful. So thank you, Danny, and we'll see you soon, okay, brother? Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Great talking with y'all, man. Great community, and I look forward to seeing you guys overseas. Get those passports, and go out there and live your best life. It's all about living your best life. You only got one, so. Just try to focus on the positive stuff and like don't get caught up in the negative and just keep going forward. Whatever obstacles you got, you can always get past it we got the community here. You got all these guys who are like, we're really killing it in life, and we can give you advice, and just reach out to me whenever, and I can like give you my feedback, my life advice, whatever. And I want to see you do good. So get out there, get it.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny, and have a great day at work. So, okay. Thank you, bro. Much appreciated. Shout out to Mr. John G for the $10 super chat. Nice to know China is an option. Good info IP. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, John G. Shout out to Mr. Sonny Robinson for the $10 super chat. Thank you for the support. He says, great stream. Thank you, brother, for the kind words. Awesome. That was a great stream. Much thanks to Danny again for coming on the channel. He's worked through our list, so I thought we had to be fair on the brother. We can't keep up taking up his time, and hopefully he has a great time at work today. So, Mr. Big Truck Series, break down your experience in China, brother.
Okay, well, for starters, it all depends really how you go there and what you're going there for. If you're a younger person and you're going there for school, like if you're going there to join a college or a university, your experience is going to be a lot different than if you're like a businessman and you're going there to do business. Now, I went there to learn more Chinese. I went there for advanced Mandarin, and I also went there to take business classes in Fudan University. A lot of their infrastructure is brand new. They have, it looks like a modern city, especially if you're in Shanghai. However, there's also a lot of poverty interspersed. Like there's a lot of people who come from the provinces, farm girls, farm boys. They come to the cities looking for work, pretty much just like any metropolitan city. So you see a huge gap between rich and poor, right? Depending upon what you're doing there, that's going to determine how you're living. Like if you're in a foreign student dormitory, they have cheap ones, or you could be like me. You could have an apartment there. I had an apartment, and going back and forth to school and learning. And this way, with my apartment, I was able to do things you couldn't do in the foreign student dorm. Like I could invite girls over, and we could have parties. We could have get-togethers. We could have sleepovers, whatever we wanted to do. There were no rules because I had an apartment. But again, like when it comes to the black male experience there, first of all, I'm 6'6" tall. So me walking around was like, see them like they like, holy crap. They're like, they thought like I'm like NBA or Godzilla or something, right? So the people were really friendly to me. If you have neighbors, Chinese neighbors, they don't live in fear like we do here in America or like some people may do in Europe. So it's like if you speak Chinese, like you can go sit down and have dinner with your neighbors or stuff, and they like you can almost walk into some of those people's houses and say hi and stuff because they don't live in the same fear that we live in over here. They have a very strict government. Like I heard y'all talking about the police. The Chinese police don't typically carry guns. So unlike being a black male in America or in some places where you may have to worry about the police shooting first and asking questions later, that doesn't happen over there. Furthermore, the average person over there isn't armed. There's less crime, there's less violence because the Chinese government clamps down on all of that. That's not to say that crime and violence don't happen. Pickpocketings happen, knife point robberies happen. But for the most part, as a foreigner, you're safe. They would never dream of robbing a foreigner because if their government gets to them, their government will find them. They're done. They're basically done. Like the penalties are harsh.
So how long were you living there? How long were you living there in China for?
I lived there a total of 2 years, but I go back and forth just for visiting. But I was living there for a full 2 years.
And why did you decide to go to China? Why not Japan? Why not South Korea? What was it about China that was alluring to you, brother?
I started learning Chinese Mandarin here. Somebody asked how should they go about learning it. The easiest thing to do is you could go to a college class. You can either audit the class and you could just sit there and not pay, or you can actually join the class and you can pay and you can get credits. Most schools require you to get, foreign language credits. So I decided to get my credits to start with beginning Mandarin conversational Chinese. When I went there, I had a Chinese teacher who couldn't even speak English. So basically, I was in an advanced Mandarin class. I was learning more. I also went there to study business classes. So I took some business classes there, and I was learning business in China. So basically, it had to do with how do you work and negotiate. How do the Chinese do business? How do their laws work? This, that, and the other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Let me bring in a new caller
Sure.
called Mr. Gardner. Mr. Gardner, how you doing, bro? Mr. Gardner, can you hear me? Gardner. Bro, can you hear us? Gardner. Okay, I can't hear him. Kick from studio, could be a troll. So what would you say is the best cities in China for black men to go to? They're looking for a decent Chinese woman that's not crazy, not on this feminist nonsense, just submissive, feminine, wifeable. Big Chalk series.
Well, I think it's important to understand. Well, some people haven't traveled to Asia or Southeast Asia, right? I've been to South Korea. I've toured around South Korea. I've toured around parts of Philippines, Japan. I've been to Japan already. But what I have to say is, see, our entire idea of how women act and our entire idea about what women are supposed to be, the problem is that your entire idea, if you're an American, your entire idea of what women are like has been basically ruined. So younger people have no idea what a woman's supposed to be like. Some of the older people have some idea, but even that has been warped over time. When you're talking about submissive, these women typically look out for their men's desires by default. China is mostly still patriarchy for the most part. The Chinese government does, allow women to participate in the government, but for the most part, China is still a patriarchy. Now, one thing I have to say is, like, what men are looking for. Like, the dude came on and he was asking, because he was talking about, I want to get a submissive, or I want to get a more traditional wife. Pretty much all of those women are traditional. What I also have to say is, the more traditional they are, the less likely they are to deal with you if you're not Chinese. So you want them to be traditional, but not too traditional, because the really traditional ones aren't going to date interracially. They're just not going to do it, because you got to understand, when you marry into a Chinese family, they expect to keep their family is basically a business. So the parents buy usually their children their first house if they can. They expect that when they start getting older, that the wife quits her job and that she takes care of the parents. They expect to take care of your children themselves in order to save money on childcare and in order to save money on senior care. That's why the wife quits her job. So they want to keep hand Chinese. They don't really want to date outside the race. They don't want exogaming. So that's how they make sure that China stays China, which is why you hear the horror stories about them, keeping Muslims out of the country, or discriminating against Uyghurs, or discriminating against the Tibetan Xinjiang people. So just understand, the more traditional a Chinese woman is, the less likely she is to date you, and absolutely the less likely she is to marry you. A lot of their marriages have to be approved by family. Now, if you date one of the newer generation, it may be a little bit easier for you to date one. But you also have to understand, those women work, and they work very hard. And that's one of the issues that a lot of dudes have trying to date Japanese women or South Korean women, or some of the metropolitan Chinese women. They work long hours, they work hard, and what ends up happening is, you're looking for a woman to be there taking care of the house and all this. These women are out there making that money. And what's also happened in that amount of time, as women have become less traditional because of capitalism, their marriage rates have been starting to drop. Same thing goes for South Korea and Japan. Marriage and fertility rates have been dropping because these women aren't dating or having sex as much as you'd expect that they would be normally.
Thank you, bro, for breaking that down.
Sure.
Big Chuck series. Appreciate you, bro. Let me bring in Mr. Gardner. Can you hear me? Okay. So can I bring you on? Give me a thumbs up, bro. Give me a thumbs up. Can I bring you on with a camera on? Give me a thumbs up, Gardner. All right, you got your camera on. Is that okay? With a camera on, is that okay? Okay, fantastic. Awesome. How you doing, bro?
I'm okay. It's so amazing. Because I see some of your past views about like mixed Chinese people. And one thing, my philosophy, you cannot pick where you born at. You cannot pick your color. I'm 56, so I used to tell guys, I grew up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. I used to tell guys when I was like 14 years old, I said, yo, guys like you make it bad for guys like me, right? Because they used to do all type of things to young ladies who grew up with us who was like 14, 15, make them pregnant, said the baby wasn't theirs. So, me at 56, some women my age, they don't been there and heard everything. So they don't trust anybody. So for somebody to hate you because of your color, your language, you don't have any choice in that, and just like if I was in China, or anybody was in China and it was to be attacked, a lot of times we're gonna get on the Chinese side, wherever you at, you're gonna get down to survive, and sometimes only a few people realize that. It's like,
Hold on, bro. Sorry, brother. Do you have background noise happening? Is a TV on?
Hey, okay, TV? That's my son. I'm a single father. Hey, Leon, cut that down. Yo, cut that off.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. No, because of the copyright stuff, brother, and obviously for the viewers to have a great experience, so they can hear you properly.
Okay,
it's kind of overjoining your voice.
Yes. You, so I look at it like this, I'm getting out the fantasy. I'm not gonna. Somebody don't want to be involved with me. I'm not gonna try to keep on pushing the issue. Okay, and so, I just yes. Mm-hmm.
So, have you dated a Chinese chick before?
Well, one thing, living over here in New York City, they're friendly, but a lot of times.
Sorry, bro.
I never.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm hearing background noise there.
That's my son, Leon. Please, that's what I'm talking. Leon, cut that TV off. No, I never dated a Chinese, but I love all women. I love all women like that. It doesn't matter. You're a driver. You drive. You stick the key in there. You drive a different model, this model, whether it be a car, truck, a bus. As long as you know how to drive. So that's the way I'm a man. So I can deal with any woman. She could be nice. She could be mean or whatever. And, I used to box, so I just move in, and hopefully she won't wake up on the wrong side of the bed that day. But I'm not going to keep on dealing with somebody who wakes up on the wrong side of the bed every day. I'm not going to keep on giving them chances, because some people never change,
Let me ask this, brother. So you're currently in New York City. I know there's a huge Chinese population there.
Oh, yeah.
Chinese women, hold on, bro. Are the Chinese women checking for brothers? Do they like the brothers? Are they dating brothers? Are they showing love to brothers, the Chinese women in New York?
The Chinese people show you love, right? But what happened, they have like attack on Asian now. Sometimes once in a while, New York, it's that the Asian attacking. You got a few people out there with mental issues. They're attacking the Chinese people, but they have their little Chinatown, which is wonderful.
In terms of, bro, I'm hearing background noise, brother. The TV's still on.
Okay, hey Leon, don't you know what cut the TV off mean? Okay, go ahead.
So, bro, let me ask this, brother. In terms of like dating Chinese women in New York, bro, are you seeing black men dating Chinese women, or at least East Asian women? Are you seeing that quite often in New York City?
No, I'm a homebody.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Cause listen, downtown, by the Brooklyn Bridge, over there they have like in the high school, the college, because you normally see Indians and Chinese stay together. So, if you have like a lot of high school students, yes, they into like young people mix. So I'm sure they are, but I'm just not seeing it. But on the train, I do know you see like the Chinese and the Indian, they hang together a lot. So I'm sure it's other ones that I just haven't seen yet. But I'm sure, yeah, because young people, they love young people hang with everybody, you know.
Awesome, brother. Awesome.
I'd like to answer that question if I could.
Yes, before you do so,
Sure.
no, carry on, big series. Go on, bro.
All right. So I am a New York City resident. I'm basically born here and I've lived here pretty much all my life that I wasn't overseas, right? I dated, what the hell is that?
Yo,
That's
what
my
is that?
phone. Sorry, that was my
Hey,
stupid
bro.
phone.
Oh yeah, mute up
Okay.
for a minute because
It's
I'm
up
a
on
video
you,
on in the TV. Mute up. So anyway, if you're here in New York, right? The Chinese population is mostly from southern China. They're from Guangdong or they're from Fujian. Fuzhou is the capital city of Fujian. They're mostly southern Chinese, right? Somebody in the comments said that for the most part, the Asian women here chase white guys, right? For the most part, that's true. What I can say is that if you're a black man and you really are interested in Chinese women, the easiest way to meet one is to immerse yourself on their side of the street. How do I mean? If you join a language class, like if you go down to Lower Manhattan and you're in Mott or the Elizabeth area where there's a lot of Chinese people, and you join one of the language classes in a language school, sooner or later, you're going to meet a Chinese woman, sooner or later. What I also really, and I don't want to sound stereotypical, but the quality of Asian women is better when you get Northern Chinese. The Northern Chinese women are taller. They look better, in my opinion. Now, if you like the Southern ones, that's different because they speak Cantonese. They have a slightly different culture. The Northern Beijing, Shandong, the Jiangsu, like the certain provinces, especially the Northern Chinese provinces above Shanghai, if you meet the women from there, they look better. They've got better skin quality. They are cuter in general, just like the one in my picture right here. She's a Shanghainese. And the issue is, if you immerse yourself with them and you hang around them long enough, sooner or later, either you're going to meet one of them or you're going to meet one of their friends and you'll probably hit it off. Now, a lot of black guys here have options. They got Spanish women and they got white women to choose from. And mostly, if they're going to date out here in New York City, it's Spanish women. The other women from Asia, like Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, they don't mess with us at all. They don't mess with brothers at all.
I'm okay with that, bro, because we ain't checking for those kind of women anyways.
No, I hear you. I hear you. It's just that those women are completely locked in by their culture. All of their marriages are basically they have to basically be approved, but they don't intermix with us at all. The two Asian groups that I will say is the easiest for a black man are Thai and Filipina. Thai and Filipina, those are the two easiest. But if you're going after like a Han Chinese, like a pure blood Chinese girl, it's an uphill battle, and you're not going to meet very many of them here in New York. You're better off in California, or you're better off going to Canada to meet some of them. But if you move to China, if you really want a Chinese woman, Canada's a good place to look. California's a good place to look. But if you come here, you're going to meet mostly Southern Chinese. You're going to meet Fujian or Guangdong. But if you go over to China and you're the only black man on campus around there, and you go to one of those Chinese schools to learn, or you go there to work as an expatriate, you're going to meet one immediately. Like, I met like the girl of like the love of my life. I met her within a week of being there. Within a week. And we dated for a while, but eventually she ended up leaving because her studies were finished and I had to come back to America because I had to work. But that's just how I feel about it. So that's speaking from a New Yorker opinion based on what I've seen, what I know. And that's the easiest way to meet one. Just enroll yourself in a Chinese language school, learn some of that Mandarin. They'll know that you're serious. They'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. You'll go out together. You go to Chinese restaurants together. Next thing you know, you got yourself a woman.
Fantastic, bro. In New York City, brother, let me ask this.
Yes.
How are the Japanese women treating brothers? Like, I know there's a Japanese population there in New York City.
Well,
It's nil.
I haven't. I'm sure they. I'm sure there is, because out there in Queens you have the Korean section. Out there in Brighton Beach you have like the Russian section, like and then out there in Staten Island you have the Italian section. But you didn't mention my street downtown in Chinatown. That's Italian, little Italy. So you do have like the Lower East Side. So you do have. I'm just saying maybe you don't approach some type of woman, but if you see something you like, ain't you gonna approach her? I'm not.
Yo, what's that, bro?
That I didn't
What's
bury
that
it.
noise?
That's the phone. Give me a notification. Sorry about that. I didn't bury it deep enough. But anyway, it doesn't happen all the time. But I'm like this, right? If I see something I like it, but see, I done worked in women's shelters over here in New York. So everything that looks good is not good. So I'm just hesitant to approach a lot of women a lot of times because I worked in women's shelters, and then I'm a single father, so I know what's important. I have my time with the women. I hope I get another shot at it, but right now it's about stack my paper because, as Theo said, a lot of times, and sometimes when you talk to men, you have to be careful because some men don't have a man in their life. The only thing they have mothers, aunts, sisters. So when you talk about a woman, they're not gonna agree with you. They might have daughters. So when you talk about a woman, I'm sure it's some dudes over here ain't never had a father in their life. They don't have an uncle. They don't have anything. So when you say something about a woman, they may not agree with you because they always say sports and politics or religion. These are subjects we don't talk about. But it's a lot of subject because maybe that woman's a thought, but that's the only way she knew how to put money on the table. She didn't go to school or whatever. So a lot of us was yes. Go ahead.
Sorry, but let me run it to Big Truck series real quick. So the Japanese women in New York City, brother, is there a population there, and are they checking for brothers?
Yes.
Sure.
In fact, I wanted to share actual numbers. In 2011, in New York City, as far as Japanese residents go, the largest population were Astoria, Queens, Yorkville, and the Upper East Side of Manhattan. In 2010, the census showed there was like 1,300 Japanese in Astoria and about 1,100 Japanese in Yorkville, 500 Japanese in East Village. The issue ultimately is there's very few Japanese people here. The majority of the Japanese Americans live in either California or they live in Hawaii. So New York is not a good place to meet Japanese women. It's very difficult to meet Japanese women. And if you do, you'll meet second generation. You're not meeting like the traditional Japanese woman. You're meeting a newer woman who happens to be Japanese, or she's mixed with white and her parents might be half and half. If you want to meet Japanese women, ultimately, one thing I've realized is you got to pretty much go to Japan. Because if you go to Japan, you get pure Japanese. Even in California, you'll meet them in California. But the thing about it is most Japanese people didn't choose to live in America because of the racism that they suffered in America. Most of them stayed in Japan. Now, the Chinese were coming here. Many of them were, refugees. A lot of them came here specifically to work. So it's easier to meet Chinese. It's easier to meet even Filipino. And it's even harder to meet Thai. A lot of them don't want to come here. They really stay in their own countries.
Fantastic. Great intel there.
Hey,
Big Truck series. Go on, Dr. Khan.
Because I was about to say, I live in Chicago, which is another major city, and a lot of what Big Truck is saying is pretty much the same thing in Chicago. We have a big Chinese population, but unless you are really intermingling with the Chinese people there, you are not going to get yourself a Chinese GF. That's for sure. In fact, my intermingling with anybody who has Chinese ethnicity were from people who are not from China. Meaning they were Chinese people from either Singapore or Taiwan or Malaysia, but not from mainland. So they're really hard to deal with in Chicago, in my experience. And like I said, if you want the real deal, you probably have to go to the actual country.
Yeah, I don't really advise China for brothers. That's just me. I don't think they're the chosen one for brothers. I think it's Japanese first and South Korean. Big Truck series may disagree with me, and that's okay. But Chinese women, they don't do it for me. That's just my personal preference.
Oh no, I hear you. South Korean, I like more than Chinese. Japanese, I'm not really interested in. One thing I should also mention: if you have a church if you're looking for Korean women, and they have a church, and you're studying, and you also happen to enroll yourself in a Korean language school, and you go to the church and you tell them, "Oh yeah, well I'm learning Korean," and they'll welcome you in. They won't turn you away because they think you're interested and they think that you're serious. But that's the easiest way to do it. You have to immerse yourself with them, but they won't turn you away. They will actually welcome you in, and especially if they see that you're learning their culture. In fact, a lot of them will want to help you. So if that's what you want, South Korean or Japanese, find out where they go to church.
Well, I wish I would have learned about this years ago. I would have saw the whole world.
I almost forgot when it comes to the Japanese in Chicago area. It's almost non-existent. Just to let you know, IP. Sorry about that.
Okay.
They way far out in the suburbs, and I do not know if they check for brothers.
That's cool with me, bro. I won't come to America anytime soon. I'm going to the source to get the Japanese woman. So it's
Have
all
you
good.
Have you
Trust
been
me.
to South Korea, sir?
No, but
me, I've been
one
to South Korea.
I'm
One
talking
thing-
to the international passport. Have you been to South Korea?
I haven't, no, not yet, bro. Should I be going there?
Absolutely. I went there in 2018 and I toured around the entire place. Went to Nami Island, Jeonju province. I stayed in Seoul. I walked around that place freely, not a worry in the world. Big black man, never had an issue. What the only downside is, South Koreans don't cater to English people. If you don't speak their language or understand their language at all, it's very lonely. They'll talk to you, but only if you approach them. And the thing about it is, if you are learning Korean, there's a couple of YouTubers who are black and they're living in Korean, and they're having a good time, and they're learning Korean, and they're even dating Korean people. But the thing about it is, you have to learn those languages. You have to immerse yourself in their language. And if you go to South Korea, I guarantee you'll love it.
Fantastic, bro. Are the women checking for brothers in South Korea?
Some of them are checking for brothers because right now a lot of them are divesting from Korean men. Their divorce rates are up, strangely enough. As I said, a lot of these women are choosing not to be traditional anymore. A lot of these women are working women, and they're kind of going the same route that American women went in. So that's kind of an issue right there. But what I will say is a lot of them are interested in black men because they're interested in something new. They're interested in an exotic. If you're a black man in South Korea, you're exotic. Walking around in their malls, walking around in their streets, walking around in the places where they, that's their country. And they make it understood that this is our country. They don't cater to any outsiders. They don't even put up English signs as if you don't learn our language, if you don't learn our culture, we don't really care about you. But if you immerse yourself in it and you make the serious attempts, they'll welcome you in. And those women will gravitate towards you once they understand that you understand their culture.
Thank you, bro. And brothers, feel free to hit the cash app and super chats if you're enjoying this conversation. This has been another classic stream, another intel. I'm a bit upset that feminism is kind of spreading in South Korea. Women are not choosing to be not traditional anymore. It's getting too much now. The Western culture is evil and wicked. It's just too much. Why can't you just keep Western culture in the West? Why got to spread all around the world? That's my problem with the West, bro.
You say, why can't we keep it in the West? But you got to understand, Western culture spreads through capitalism. That's the problem. You've probably noticed, you look on Instagram, more and more of these South Korean women are turning into Instagram women now. And that the capitalism, selling products, getting these people to want to buy all this stuff that they don't really need in their lives, that is how Western culture spreads, forcing women to work longer hours to afford those things. That's part of capitalism. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is you have to understand, why are you doing it? But you're doing it because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're trying to spend your money, trying to look better, this, that, and the other. Ultimately, Western Our culture spreads through capitalism and products, and it's literally changing Asia. These women, all of them want to be on Facebook, all of them want to be on Instagram, all of them want to be in this massive dating pool. That will eventually turn them as bad as we've gotten here. China makes it so you can't do that. China turns off Instagram. China turns off TikTok. They literally flip a switch and they turn off Google. They turn off YouTube. If you go to most of those countries, most of this content that we have is blocked. They don't allow their people to grow up watching this stuff. They just don't do it. So America spreads insidiously through capitalism. We're spreading our culture. And it's changing Asia for the worse. It really is.
I think that's why sometimes we have to be careful we go into some of these places, because I think they think we're gonna bring their influences. But like how can I say this? A lot of times, like when you have how jazz was introduced over there in Europe, right? You know, you had like the Harlem Hellfighters, or anybody familiar with military history, and blacks going overseas. We was treated different in France and stuff like that. So what happened then? A lot of other stuff that started going overseas that making it bad. So a lot of times I say, every place got rules and regulations. You gotta respect that. Even though you respect it, you may like, yo, that's American. We gotta get him out here. He's like a bed bug. He's like a cockroach. So sometimes you gotta be careful. Even though you're doing the right thing, you're not going over there bar anybody. But just at the point, sometimes you're in their backyard. This dude from New York. He from New York. You been in New York all your life. Thugs be like, yo, he ain't from here. Let's get him. So every country got their thugs. Every country got their hood. Like we are trendsetters as blacks, but you have some people who try to be more blacker than us. Like that. So it's amazing when you got people like they say we bad, but you got someone else trying to be more blacker than us. They have a definition of a black. We do this and we do that, and they're doing worse than us.
Okay, thank you, bro. So Big Truck series, Western culture spreading throughout Japan. We know the history of World War II in American and Japanese, so they didn't have any choice. But Japan, is it still fighting against that kind of thing that's spreading in South Korea, or would Japan fall to Western evilness?
No, Japan fell to Western evilness the moment we literally took over Japan. I mean, South Korea, you got to remember, South Korea only exists because America. That parallel that separates South Korea and North Korea, if it wasn't for America's continued presence there, all of Korea would be one Korea. All of it. And they would mostly be influenced by China because North Korea shares the border with China. They would be heavily influenced by China, just like North Korea is. But if it wasn't for the continued presence of America in South Korea, they would be a single unified Korea, pretty much sharing a single culture. They would slowly be infiltrated by capitalism and infiltrated by feminism. That's inevitable because you have to understand most of feminism really comes from women leaving the household and going into the workforce, pretty much. If you go to Japan, the women there, and I've already mentioned, it's a fact that the fertility rates are down, childbirth rates are down. The reality is those women are working as many hours and working as hard as the men are. And that is not good for family planning. So what's ending up happening is there's fewer and fewer Japanese children being born. The same thing's happening to South Korea, and now the same thing's happening to China. That's the reason why you hear that term leftover woman more and more. They say after 27, the Chinese women are leftover women. They say sheng niu. And the bottom line is it's happening more and more because those women are working and they're making that money just like the men are. And the men, what Chinese men are doing is they're going to Southeast Asia looking for wives. They're going to the Philippines. They're going to Vietnam. They're going to Cambodia. They're passport bros more than we are. The last thing I'll say, because I know you want me to pass the mic, but the issue is China had that one child policy. It threw their male female imbalance way out of whack. So there were more males than there were females. So they weren't able to have enough wives. So what China did was they reversed that. They got rid of the one child policy. They told these people to have 3 children if you could. And then on top of that, a lot of the men who can afford it, they're getting their passports and they're going to Southeast Asia and they're getting wives. And they're moving Filipino women in. They're getting, some Chinese men are getting South Korean women. Some of them are getting Japanese women. Although most of those women don't want to move out of their country to China. But if they have to, they do. So this is insidious what's going on. That's just what it is. It's insidious.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Hold on, bro.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Donovan Jr. for the $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. He has a point. You notice that a lot of movies are banned to release in China, like the Disney and Marvel movies. Yes, indeed. Fact, because they push out feminism through these Disney movies, like, Black. What's that? Scarlett Johansson Disney character, Black Swan, or
Red Fox. What's her name? Scarlet Witch? No, not Scarlet Witch. She's
Scarlett Johansson, the Black. Yeah. They're pushing out that nonsense. How can a 5-foot woman beat up 6-foot men? That's the nonsense that we see on TV nowadays, and that's why I don't watch TV no more.
You know what China also banned? They banned effeminate males. They don't allow LGBT at all on television. They don't allow it in their movies. So they basically took a flat stance against it. They banned all of that stuff.
Fantastic, man. They ain't playing, bro. They're not playing.
No,
so
they don't play.
let me ask this Big Truck series. Where do black men fit in, especially when Japanese women, they're not putting out with Japanese men? Can black men go to Japan, and us being different, can we change that? Can we start making babies with these Japanese chicks? Would they submit to us?
I think so. The Yakuza.
The Yakuza don't really mess with you, because you got to remember, Japan's government doesn't tolerate the Yakuza. They brand them for life. So the Yakuza aren't an issue. When I was in Japan, I never worried about the Yakuza.
Sorry, bro. I mean, in terms of.
I'm sorry, but to answer your question, as far as where do black men fit in, the thing that's important to remember is that black American men are basically like a species. We're not the same as African men. We're not. When you're a black American man and you go to their country and you live in their country, if you're expatriating or if you're a student, when you go to their countries, the women fall on you. There used to be, there was a book written by a Japanese woman. It was a while ago. I don't remember what the name is. I can look it up. But she wrote about how she had a great relationship with a black man. The Japanese women were chasing black men around, trying to get with them.
I need that book right now, bro. What's the book called, bro? What's the book called?
I'll look it up. I'll look it up for you. But the black men, the Japanese women wanted you in the worst way, as if you were a fashion accessory. If you're a black man right now and you live in Japan, a woman might take you maybe a couple of weeks to find a good one. And the thing about it is, if you like her and she likes you, it will work, especially if you're staying there, because Japanese people don't really want to come here. If you're staying in Japan, that you just carved out a whole life for yourself. So when you're asking, the same thing applies to South Korean women. A lot of these South Korean women see us as more masculine, and they see us as more desirable, especially if you're a black American male. And if you want a South Korean woman, it's as easy as spending time in South Korea and meeting one.
Can I say something? Yeah. Now, I look at it like this, right? Now, all these women leaving the household to work, right? I look at it like this. And they say, these countries are supposed to be so smart. If you're so smart, why are you trying to work? I figure like this. Once you leave high school, you go to a trade school, or you pick up something that you can sustain yourself, whether it's, some trade school or college. You go there for like 3 years or a few months. And then I figure like this. Once you're on a book, you work 20 years on the books. It doesn't matter as long as it add up to 20 years of the book. It could be 1 year here, 2 years here, 3 years there. But they're working all these years, and then they hit the wall. They can't have a baby anymore. So I look at it like this. What are they doing with their money? Do they have any financial literacy? I mean, you work in 20, 30. Okay, you start working when you leave high school. 18 years old. You work 20 years. You know, some of them don't have a house, they don't have a car, they're taking care of people who don't even care anything about them. Because you know, once you don't have the money to play anymore, you can't you can't attend. You don't have the money to get in, you can't attend. So I feel like this. All these people who the birth rate is going down because they're out there working. If they supposed to be so intelligent and this and that, okay, say, look, I'm gonna work 10 years and work to the age of 30, and then I'm gonna start a family. But then what happened is that they work to an age where the men in their country no longer want them. So what they doing, I figure they committing genocide. You know, they committing suicide. They sabotaging themselves because now their population is going down, as you said it a few moments back ago. You know, guys are going outside the country looking for other people. But I feel like this, because, you know, like you work over here in America till you're 62, till you're 65. No, you put your years in, 20 years with society. You put that time. You at the age of 40 years old now, you probably can still have a baby. And then you can enjoy life. You can stay home and watch your grandkids or something like that. You know, but all that money, you got two people in the household working. What they doing with their money? That's for the whole world. What are they doing with their money? You know, so I don't see how they think they smarter than somebody. They keep on working like it's a drug. They're addicted to, you know, working. And where their money go? They don't have a car, they don't have no house, and they be broke from week to week. I don't care if they make millions of dollars or how much they make. Why are they still doing it? The guys, the rap stars, they going out there without bodyguards. Bad guys got bodyguards, and good guys got bodyguards too. And what happened? They don't know what to do with their money. They don't know the do's and the don'ts, what to do with their money. You know?
Okay, thank you, partner.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Awesome, thanks. Fantastic. So 10 more minutes. So feel free to call in, brother. I got 10 more minutes. I'm going to keep it at 3 hours sharp on the clock. It's been a classic live stream so far, so you've got 10 minutes to call in. Thank you very much for the insight, Big Chuck series. Fantastic. I'm a bit surprised why you're not into Japanese women, Big Chuck series for some reason.
Well, you know what? Japanese women, like when I was meeting them, it's like they just didn't do it for me because they like their personality. It just didn't click with mine. It's hard to explain. I know a lot of black dudes who are into Japanese anime and Japanese culture. They think Japanese women are really, really interesting, right? And they think they're really, really cute. First of all, I stand like 2 feet taller than virtually all of the Japanese women I met. That's number one. I'm about 2 feet tall in pretty much all of them. The Chinese girls that I met, especially the northern ones, were a little taller, and I really liked that. The Filipinas were small, but they were thick, like little Spanish women. So they were easier to deal with because there was no language barrier. The Philippines, they all speak English. The Chinese women, for the most part, all spoke English. The Japanese women and the Korean women, there was a bit of a language barrier there. A language barrier is a little harder to deal with, and there's also the culture barrier too. So if you're really, really, really into Japanese culture or Korean culture, if you go to one of their countries and you're immersing yourself and you're trying to be them, so very, very quickly, you'll get one. And that's pretty much guaranteed. My only thing is, as far as doing it with China, meeting a nice Han Chinese girl and marrying her, it's doable, especially if you're an expatriate. But chances are she's going to want to move back with you to America. Chances are, because she'll have more opportunity here, and some of them dream of being American citizens and this, that, and other. So, it all depends. But personally, I like Korean women more than Japanese women. But again, there's that language barrier issue. So if you want to split the difference, you go to Thailand.
Awesome. Brother, you mentioned northern Japanese woman. Is that Sapporo, Hokkaido, right?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You mentioned northern Japanese woman. Is that like in Sapporo, Hokkaido area?
Yeah.
Okay. They're a bit taller. How tall is that? Is that 5'7", 5'8"?
Well, originally I mentioned northern Chinese women, like from the provinces like Shandong and the provinces up in the north. However, if you want to meet Japanese women, I would say that the best place to do it is really in their schools or in their cultural centers. That's probably the better place to do it. If you meet a Japanese woman in the city, like Hokkaido's cool because you're getting farther away from the main city, like unless you go to like Sapporo. But if you meet a city girl, she ain't gonna have no time for you. Like when you want to date a city girl Japanese, it's like filling out an appointment for a dentist. It's like she has to set aside time for you. You're talking about late night dates, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And God forbid you try to date a woman in Tokyo she's a working woman, like with a career. You see, the problem is you have to live there. See, a lot of the passport bros, what they ultimately want is they want to go on vacation and they want to meet somebody and then keep up a relationship with them. It ain't easy to do that in Japan or South Korea because these women work. It's then you know how these women on TikTok insult poor passport bros and they try to be like, oh yeah, well you're just meeting bottom of the barrel women or you just meeting prostitutes. If you're going for career women in these countries like Japan or South Korea or even China, these women work and they work so many hours that dating them is tough. Now, if you meet provincial women or if you meet women who have lower end jobs or if you meet women who are, just, fun or whatever, and you build a relationship with them, that's a bit easier.
But why is the purpose they working all the hours? Why are they working all the hours? Yeah.
The cost of living is high. The cost of living is extremely high in Japan. When I was in Japan, I was spending like $100 a day. And that's no joke. I was spending $100 a day to be there. If the only way to get around that is if you're a student and you live on campus. So that means that whatever tuition you've paid locks you into dormitories and it makes it so that you don't have to spend as much money because food is very expensive there. Living is very expensive there. A lot of them don't have their own cars or their own transportation beyond the metro rails because owning a car there is real. There's bumper to bumper traffic everywhere. So what I'm saying is you're talking about like the women, why is it that they're working so much? The cost of living is high for one. The other issue is their job culture keeps them working longer hours than we work here in America. Americans, believe it or not, we have it pretty laid back and easy compared to a lot of these countries. A lot of these women, when they work way longer hours than us. The one benefit I will say is South Korea looks out for women's hygiene and health, and they also look out for women who are nursing and pregnant and whatever. And they've tried to make it friendly to women, and they've tried to make sure they get paid more money. But the reality is we're laid back compared to them. These people go to school on Sunday. These people don't have holidays. These people have very few holidays. They go to school weekends. So that's why their level of achievement is so much higher than ours.
How can they level be achievement if they still going to?
Hold on, bro.
No, but you have to understand the reason why they're working is a lot of them are corporate.
Let me ask this, bro. You were spending $100 a day were you in Tokyo? I'm guessing, right? Tokyo.
I was in Shinjuku-ku, Tokyo.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So let me ask this, brother. So Northern Japanese women, so Sapporo, Hokkaido women. Did you live in Hokkaido and Sapporo before in Northern Japan, or did you meet them in Tokyo? These women.
No. I didn't meet anybody to date in Japan at all. I dated Chinese.
I see.
And I've dated Chinese, I've dated Filipina and South Korean. But okay, I met and was friendly with Japanese girls, but I never really dated or had relations with them like that. Like I when I say dated, like I hung out with them. But this is what I'm telling you about their work culture getting in the way. That's why I'm saying this.
Okay, thank you, bro. Okay. Mr. Thomas Demihin, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. Thank you for calling in. Don't worry, I won't take too long on the stream. Now you're here. Anything you wanna touch upon, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm not going to China, man. I love that, fam. No need for that, fam. No, fam. Japan's not on top. Japan's number one on my list. No.
Hope that's sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. I see. I have no reason to. I've done my own research in China. I'm not going there. Nah, I don't need that in my life.
Pretty much same. As a matter of fact, IP, if you want to know, like, if you want to know a little bit more about Japan, I have a top secret long-term trip to Japan. I won't reveal too soon, but hopefully that trip will give you like the dirty intel.
Okay, fantastic, awesome. Yeah, I think Japan is going to be on a lot of people's lists, particularly black men next year. It's kind of like our mecca. I just said that. It's like the mecca for educated brothers.
Exactly. Also, bro, there's Japanese black women. I've seen it. We got the best of both worlds. So, bro wants black women and Japanese women. Japanese black women. There you go. So, yeah.
I'm going there to take up ninjutsu, that or jujitsu. When I go,
Awesome. That's good.
Nice one, bro.
Yeah.
Go on, Thomas.
Yeah. The work culture is actually true IP. I remember Brother Theo saying that some Japanese businessmen, they work on the weekends, but so does China as well. They don't, and I believe China they work Monday to Saturday. They only have one day off. So that's crazy.
Wow. And I think that means you have to work for a foreign company in Japan, or a foreign-owned company. Don't work for a Japanese company.
Yeah, a lot of I know, like particularly South Korea and China take a lot from Japan in terms of their modern work culture. So it's really difficult to find someone who has a traditional one and probably need to date. That's probably a steep hill to climb off for the moment.
So here's what you do. You probably go to Japan, get your job there. You want to get paid in Japanese yen or dollars or pounds, and then you live in the countryside or in the north. If you don't want to deal with a city girl that's working, that's definitely a way around it. But it has to be a remote job, so you can work anywhere in Japan. That's what I would do if I had a remote job. Some of you brothers are typing in this author. She sounds like some freak. I'm searching her up. This Japanese chick.
What's she about? What's she about?
She must be writing some nonsense about black men, bro.
What?
But the big series, truck series can tell it, but probably how we brothers get down in the bedroom or something like that, bro.
Oh. Well, she's not saying anything derogatory, right?
It says she's racist on Wikipedia.
F her then. Nah, screw her.
No, someone that just sees us as a fetish. We don't want that in our lives, brothers.
She's on that black.com nonsense, man.
Oh man. Fantastic. So let me end the stream now. We're at 3 hours now. It's been a great stream. Thank you everyone who called in to speak on this particular issue. Thank you to our guests for dropping intel on Japanese women. Also a Chinese woman. That was a great insight into them. Look forward to more videos dropping this coming week on Vancouver.
IP, one thing before you leave. I signed up for the Patreon, the $24 one. I don't know how to sign in to look at anything. So I send you I sent it on Facebook. I signed up for Facebook. So you see Gardner, and just let me know what I'm doing wrong. That's why the reason why I got in, because I want to join Theo's IT class, because that was the 22nd. So I really want to join that class.
Can you send me a DM on Patreon?
I don't know how to do it.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm Daryl Gardner. Yeah.
Hold on, bro.
That's me.
Let me hold on, bro. So are you Darren Gardner?
Yes, that's me. That's right.
Okay, I've seen you. I'm going to send you a DM right now, and then it should.
What you gonna send me on my Gmail or what? What you gonna?
No,
how you gonna send it to?
It will be on the Patreon platform.
So how do I log in there?
So
What do I do?
you have to have an account on Patreon.
Okay, so get an account.
Yes.
Because
So
okay, so when I went into you, I signed up for the 24. That doesn't mean I have an account. I have to really get an account now.
yes, username and
Okay.
password.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
If there's any issues, just send me a DM on Instagram, and then we can speak over the
I
phone.
don't even
can
have an
help you go through it.
Instagram. I do have an Instagram account, yes, but not on Facebook.
I'm also on Facebook, but Instagram's easier because you can call on
Okay,
there.
all right.
So if you just
I
send me a
will.
DM on Instagram, International Passport 5, I'll sort you out tomorrow. I'll help you out.
You say
No problem.
international passport vibes.
International Passport 5. It's on the screen, bro.
Okay, all
You see
right.
it
Don't
there?
worry. I'll see it. I'll go back. I'll catch it.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
So no problem. Thank you, Gardner. Thank you to everyone. Much appreciated for this great insight. I will see you, brothers, on my next upcoming videos. Have a great week ahead, and peace out, brothers. Thank you very much. And
Good
shout out to all
night.
those who hit the cash app and super chat and the support. Like
Good
the
night.
video, comment. Good night, bro. And thank you for the support, brothers. Much
Welcome.
appreciated.
Welcome.
Take it easy.